Ladies and gentlemen, we are live. This is the Common Call Roundtable discussion. This is an afternoon stream, which is a first for the Common Call Roundtable discussion. But we were finally able to get together and discuss this final book of the Joker, Batman Three Jokers. With me on the panel is Chris White, aka Sith, live from the Batcave, and also Xavier Randall, aka Hydro X Aura 12. Good afternoon, gentlemen. How are y'all?
I'm doing all right.
So what's going on? I had to throw the aura in there.
We from the South, man. You got to put that on aura. I ain't never understood that, but aura.
All right.
Like, aura is a vowel, aura. But anyway, we coming together for y'all for the last installment of Batman, the Three Jokers. Yeah, we are kind of late with it, but life happens. But we want to go ahead and finish the game strong, so we are here. And fortunately, we were able to get together this afternoon. So we got a little bit of time to talk. Gentlemen, everything's going well with y'all today?
Yeah, going good for me. I've been anxious to talk about this book because,
Yeah. I mean, it's funny. Everything good with me except for my pockets right now.
Oh my God, we ain't going to talk about that.
Holiday season, man.
Christmas will do it to you, boy.
Man.
Look, man, I ain't got no kids, and I'm looking at my pockets like, man, where the hell did my money go? You know what I'm saying?
I've been robbed.
Well, I got nephews that I shop for since I don't have no seeds, so you might as well say I got cheerings. But But anyway, we want to go ahead and finish out the Three Jokers. Honestly, and I know we're gonna give our opinions on the whole series at the end of the show, but I liked it. I really enjoyed it, and it actually intrigued me even further to learn more about Batman, and particularly this idiot right here. Boy, this dude crazy. But so what we're gonna do, we're gonna go ahead and hop into it. We're gonna skip the intro page on the show right there, and then we're gonna get to page 1. So we see page 1 of the book, and it starts off with the criminal. And then it starts off with Joker number 3, which is the clown, which, of course, if you all have read the story, the clown got his brains blasted all out of his skull in issue 1. And then as we scroll down, we have oh God, too fast. Way too fast.
That's what she said.
Okay, so let's see here. I'm gonna do this slow because I'm dealing with another device to show the comic book. So we have the comedian. So basically, the story centers around the criminal. This is not working like it's supposed to. Hold on, fellas. Okay, so we're gonna do it like this. All right, so we're gonna skip that and go to this particular page here. So right now we're dealing with the criminal and the comedian in the story. Of course, you see all the other Jokers, which we've learned that the Joker has attempted to create other Jokers to create a legacy of sorts. And I'm gonna do it like this to create a legacy of sorts. And basically, with that said, it's showing who all they actually chose to attempt to be the Joker, all with no success. Gentlemen, do y'all have anything to say about this particular panel here?
Personally, for me, I think it's interesting that the Joker that they are showing that the Joker is trying to make copies or a new version of himself. You know what I'm saying? It's always been weird to me when they do stories about the Joker where he's talking about how he's trying to make sure that he leaves a legacy. And it's kind of just like, from the outside standpoint as a comic book reader reading it, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of just like, how could you, when you think about it in the real world terms, like how could the Joker even remotely think that he doesn't have a legacy, whether he, pulls off the perfect, quote unquote, the perfect crime. But it's like, if you were in the real world, you would be the Jeffrey Dahmer. You would have a legacy. Like, people would be, writing letters to him in prison, and he would have a fan following, and it'd be cults. And so it's always interesting when the Joker feels the need to make a legacy for himself, to do something, to leave his namesake behind, to leave something that the world, his mark on the world. Because for whatever reason, he doesn't feel like he's done that already somehow. Like, it's always weird to me. And this is the weirdest by far. Like, that they've done in these stories with them in the last issue, when them trying to basically make a new Joker by dipping all those people into the chemicals to try to turn at least one of them into a new Joker, is huge step.
X.
One thing, so I have to question one thing. When you look back at the previous two books and you look at these potentials, if we can call them potentials, you notice one thing is the Joker he holds a vendetta against people, and most of these potentials were people that kind of spited him in the past. So would they be potential future Jokers, or is this just a revenge type thing too? You know what I'm saying?
That is a very good question. Yeah, because
go ahead.
If it's revenge, then he's not really so much trying to, what I'm saying. If these are all people that have slighted him, then what he did to them isn't so much him trying to make new Jokers, more so, like you said, he's getting revenge on them. So then it's why cover up revenge with the mask of I'm trying to make new Jokers. That's weird.
So it's what I can, and I may be wrong on this, but just another way of looking at it. While they were testing out everything in the serum to make a new Joker, they used it on them as like they were their guinea pigs, and they kept perfecting it. But when it was said and done, they just went ahead and killed them just to, like, all right, we did it. We killed two birds with one stone. We got rid of these cats, and now we know that it works. You know what I'm saying?
Right. That's one way to go about it. You use your guinea pigs, you test out your serum, figure out the best way for the serum to work to make a new Joker, and at the same time, you get your revenge on all these people who slighted you because they were, witnesses or they were jury members in a case or whatever. So yeah, I get that. I mean, and think of it like that. It aligns with the chaotic nature of the Joker, that he would use people who have slighted him in order to test out the chemical process that made him who he is until he gets it right.
Interesting.
Seems like a Joker thing. Yeah.
Well, shout out to C Maddox in the chat. C Maddox says, good point to both. I didn't understand most of the potentials. I mean, a good punchline to make the people who hate me become me.
And then it's a lot of these people tie into Batman as well.
True.
So you leaving nothing behind. You cut, what is it?
Cutting all the ties.
Right, cutting all the ties, no loose ends, all that. Yeah.
Right.
But then it just shows his genius. Like if we scroll to the next page, like I'm just looking at this, didn't even see the next panel, but I'm thinking it really does tie everything back to Batman, because the Joker is all about Batman. You know what I'm saying? So to sit here and leave that kind of cookie crumb trail, that's just him, his infatuation with Batman. Because you look at Barbara, when you look at Barbara and you look at Jason Todd, like they just in here like they like what the hell is going on, when Batman he already knows what's going on. You know what I'm saying? To a certain degree.
Batman got short boxes with Joker material.
I was just looking at that.
I just noticed that, man.
Batman got whole boxes.
They're not even case files. Like they are short boxes.
Yeah, we passed having case files. We got short boxes.
I'm talking about he got short boxes, man. He went to Midtown Comics and bought some short boxes.
Right. Bruce went down to his local comic book store to get short boxes just to file away Joker stuff.
For the Joker file. In my Kevin Conway voice.
The Joker files.
Right, the Joker files. So yeah, we're on the next panel, and apparently all this is a detective information that Batman and Batgirl and Red Hood, Jason Todd are looking at. Batman says, "We know the three Jokers have been abducting people from across the city in an attempt to create a better Joker." And Batgirl says, "A better Joker? What does that even mean?" So Jason Todd chimes in and says, "It means the Joker has been fooling all of us for years." So basically, they are going through all the files, the most recent files for the Joker, and I'm trying to piece everything together. So we're going to skip on over to the next page. And with that, hold on, I skipped too far. All right, so he says, what's a better Joker? Batman says, according to what they said to Jason, is someone who has an identity. Behind the smile, they left Jason alive so that we know that. The three Jokers wanted me to uncover all of this. There are two Jokers left, Bruce, not three, two. And when I get them in my sights, there'll be none. I need glasses, y'all. I'm nearsighted. So that's why I'm talking like that. So anyway, they're communicating with each other in reference to what's going on. And then the next panel, Bruce snaps.
I mean,
I think Jason forgot who taught him everything.
I think Jason just loved pushing Bruce's buttons.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to jump on that core.
I mean, think about it. Think about it. Of all the Robins, Jason is literally the only Robin that Bruce will put his hands on.
True. And the fact that, well, going like with Red Hood, he don't fear death because he's been there, done that. So.
Right. Like, what's the worst Batman can do to me? I've already died.
Right.
Like, so, I mean, I guess when you're thinking of it, like, I'd push Bruce's buttons too, because, I mean, he ain't going to kill me. I mean,
he might not. Somebody will.
Somebody will, right? Like, don't say it can't happen.
And let's just be real. I mean, the person that killed him is infatuated with him, so he find out that he pissed him off.
Right. Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That is true.
He'll take pleasure in doing it again. Yeah.
Most definitely. But shows here that Bruce had enough of his mouth and decided to yank him up, snatch him up, like they say in the South. And then Batgirl responds with Bruce.
Of all things.
Of all things.
She's so on the fence.
You know what? You know, the last two conversations that we had about Batgirl, I wish I could just take an X and just X her out of all the panels going forward, because she was wishy-washy in this story. Like,
man, boy. Oof.
She wishy-washy, but you also got to think she done shared intimate moments with everybody in the Bat family minus Damian.
Tim
and
Damian. Yeah. And any of the female Robins
that we know of.
Don't besmirch her name now. We don't know if she's, that type of woman, but we're gonna leave that at that. But with that being said, Batman says, "You think I haven't wanted to put a bullet in his brain too, after everything he did to Barbara and to you?"
This isn't the first time that he said this to Jason, right. Though.
This isn't the first conversation they've had like this. Like, but you didn't.
Right.
But you didn't, Bruce. I did, and he said it with his teeth gritting too. So he meant that, because he didn't even open his mouth. He says, "You didn't, Bruce. I did." That's how he said it, with his teeth, just like this. So he meant to say what he said to Bruce to bring a point across that you too weak to do it, Bruce.
Right.
You on this old sanctimonious BS about you don't kill and all this kind of stuff. Meanwhile, we looking going up a couple of extra panels up. We looking at Polaroid pictures of folks that the Joker done effed up with all kinds of toxin. Mass murderer, perhaps.
You know, they say Batman won't kill you, but he will let you die from medical debt.
Right. And then
he'll beat the ever living shit out of you. That's worse than death, because you got to live through that shit.
Well, see, Maddox said at least Jason got one. That's true. He got one under his belt.
He got one.
Yeah.
He got one.
So yeah, he got a W in that column over the Batman, But hey,
Jason got a lot of W's in his column. If we talking, not just
Right.
Jokers, but Jason,
Right.
you can't be wrong. Like Jason kind of has it's that Punisher mentality with that Batman mixed in, but it works at the same time. Like, so I'm always on the fence. Jason may go a little too far sometimes, but sometimes Bruce don't go far enough.
Hey, but I rock with Jason Todd though. I rock with him. That's that dude.
well, needless to say, they exchanging words. And after he said what he said in the last panel, he says to Bruce, "So what now? You going to arrest me? I go to court. My identity's exposed. Barbara's will be exposed because she'd have to testify, right? She was the only witness. I'm sure that's what you told her. But I know the
Trump
truth
card.
is what's really keeping you from doing anything about me is that your identity will be exposed to." And Batgirl put her hand on Bruce's shoulder like he about to just double deck Jason Todd. Stop it.
But you know what's great here is again, it's showing that just like Jason's the only Robin that Bruce put his hands on, Jason's the only one who'd say something like that to Bruce. Look him dead in the face and be like, the truth is, you ain't gonna do nothing to me because you selfish and self-centered, Bruce, and you're more worried about yourself. And Jason's literally the only one who will actually talk to Bruce like that.
Well, I mean, it goes back to what you said about him actually being. I mean, what can Bruce do to him? I mean, the man has already died. I mean, beat him real bad. That ain't worse than death. So, I mean, I would think out of all the Bat family, he would have the right to be able to come at Bruce sideways like that,
Hey, I love Batman to death. Y'all know he's my favorite character all time, but Batman's a dick. Okay? He done sat there. It ain't the first time. Jason Todd ain't the only Robin that he done put his hands on because, Dick Grayson, he found out that Barbara got knocked up, boy. Hey.
Well, yeah, that whole situation. But I was just saying, like, more in canon, everybody knows kind of situation. But yeah. But like Bruce, it's always about what's he gonna do? Excommunicate you from being a vigilante? You can't operate in Gotham anymore because you don't want to follow my. He did that to Batwoman, and what did she do? She still operated in Gotham. He said it. He did it to Batgirl. What did she do? She took the bat symbol off her suit and went to another city and became a vigilante. Like, it's not a threat. When the worst you can do is just be like, I won't buy you batarangs no more. That's not a threat, man.
That's what it is. See, they got a special card. It's like a black card and an identification card that Batman deactivates, so they can't buy nothing.
He financially cuts them off.
He cuts them off. That's what he does.
You follow my rules or no more bat credit.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Ain't the only one that's still on the payroll is Dick Grayson?
No, because Dick went
sure?
in Bloodhaven. No, because remember Dick inherited the circus. Dick's got his own money now.
Yeah, he got his own money. He got his own money, but he ain't got Bruce Wayne money.
Well, I mean, there are very few people who got Bruce Wayne money. I mean,
like this man living in a rundown apartment in Bloodhaven. Well, I guess everything run down in Bloodhaven.
Right, like Bloodhaven's like one step above Gotham. Like it ain't,
That man went and got a beatnik job just to save face.
Right, he became a personal trainer. Right, he opened a gym and all kinds of stuff. But it's like Dick, it's weird because Dick don't really need the money because he's got like a trust from Bruce. Plus, he's got the circus and all this other stuff. But he does these things to give himself purpose, which is how they do that division between them. It's like Bruce solely focused on being Batman and created this huge Bat family, and all of them have gone out of their way because they see him and they're just like, it's like growing up with parents who stay married, but they have a horrible marriage. And so all of them have gone to do so many other things to try to make sure they don't become Bruce. Dick's got friends. He got a job. He got other stuff outside of being Nightwing. Barbara got crippled, still decided to come back, but then she still does stuff. She created a whole company, again, outside of being
queen.
Right. She created a solar energy green company in her comic book outside of being Batgirl. Like, I think only Tim and Damian are like the only two, and Jason also. But, Jason's got insinuating circumstances.
Well, Jason also go and get his own money though.
That is also true.
He'll kill a whole crime family just to get their bread. You think it's a game?
I mean, it is true.
Hey, shout out to Big Remo who's listening to us while he at work, man. You know, I posted it in Instagram, my man. I'm sorry. You know, this was an opportune time for us to do it. So we appreciate you listening. You can check out the replay whenever you can. Shout out to Just a Little Podcast. What's up, Cookie? Thank you for joining us. And Mr. C. Maddox said, Batman telling them kids they can't go outside no more. So, yeah, aside
They
from
gonna do it.
Yeah, I mean, aside from revoking their privileges from their back card, I mean, that's pretty much the only thing.
Right.
But you know, no dice with that. But
And
anyway,
he can't take no money from Damien because Damien got that Ra's al Ghul money.
right?
Boy,
He got the League of Assassins money.
Right.
That's that long money.
Right. That's that that's that ancient money.
Now, that's that Vandal Savage money.
That's that Vandal Savage money.
That Rothschild money. That yeah, but way back some years. So, but anyway, just moving on. Batgirl put her hand on Bruce. Says, and Jason Todd says, "You're not siding with him, are you?"
Of course she is.
Big old X cross her face. You're not siding with him, are you? I mean, come on, Barbara. You have to see how manipulative he is. Look what he dragged us into. And Barbara trying to be that voice of reason. And see, it's funny because I learned a pattern with her. When she's not around Bruce, it seems like she's pro Jason. Mm-hmm. But when she's around Bruce, she's simping for Bruce. And I'm like, just be who you. I mean, you can't have it. You can't straddle the fence, Barbara. You tripping. You know what I'm saying?
So Bruce planted seed.
Just that always assume Batman is right, and so she always backs him.
Yeah. Just because he's right doesn't mean he's right. I'm just saying. You know,
she like that back credit.
No, apparently, that wine.
Well, she got a serious credit limit on that card. Well,
right.
Agree. Okay, so Barbara says you got your perspective on it, Jason. And I understand.
She's very nice.
Mm-hmm.
This little podcast said, leave Barbara alone. She's a nice lady.
Very friendly.
This cute. Very friendly. Well, again, we can't besmirch her name like that, but we don't know.
Oh, anyway, it's in color. It's printed. It's documented.
Okay. Well, if y'all say so, I haven't read any of her exploits, so I'll take y'all's word for it. But she says you got your perspective on it, Jason, and I understand. But Bruce has always only tried to help us. And Jason Todd says, "Help me how? You gonna throw me in the cell down there? You gonna try to lock me up? Forget about like you did after I died? Cut him. That right there." That's one of them jugular cuts.
Hit him deep.
Bruce said, "You don't understand," and lets him go. You never have.
I would have thumped him in the Adam's apple.
Right.
Probably kill him when he's training.
Judo chop.
Straight up Adam's apple punch. I mean, really, you think about it. I mean, what Batman could bench 1,000 pounds or something like that. He punch him. Adam's apple thump. He'll crush it. I'm just saying.
Jason will bounce back.
Okay.
Hey, that pit dry. That ladder pit is dry now, homie. I don't know what he's gonna do.
He'll bounce back. He'll be all right.
All right, so we go to the next panel. Batman says, "We agreed to work together on this. Let's start over and do that." Jason Todd says, "Yeah, whatever." Joker's exposed dozens to their chemicals, criminals and doctors, people from different backgrounds. Each one the candidate for this better Joker. A failed chemist, a deranged stalker. None have survived the process except these three. The criminal, from what you say, Jason, he seems more focused on their goal and is less interested in theatrics. The clown, who he faced in the aquarium.
Mm-hmm.
And then back to the second panel, he reminds me of our earliest confrontations. Isn't that, well, that's Dick Grayson, ain't it?
That's what I thought too in that panel. because given the outfit and everything, it looks like that would have been a Dick Grayson Robin going at that spot.
Well, being that he's still alive, yeah, I'm gonna say
Well,
that's Dick Grayson.
that also.
Okay. Then the clown who we faced in the aquarium, he embraced the lethal campiness like a children's show host.
Especially running around with the little midget.
What was his name? The one that
Yeah, Gabby, whatever, the
Gabby.
little
May he rest in
little
peace.
ankle biter.
May he rest in peace. Got dealt with by a shark. All right. And
I don't see this snowman nose he got on though. That little carrot thing wrapped around his face.
Could have been Christmas. Yeah, it could have been Christmas because he looked like he's dressed like an elf. So then the comedian, there's something underneath that smile, a sadistic streak stronger than the others. And that's the Joker that cut his face off, ain't it? You know, I don't know these things, so I have to ask the resident experts on the panel. So,
and see, that's one of the hard things too, because even though they're telling you that there are 3 Jokers and there've always been 3 Jokers, you don't know. They don't really.
Right.
You'd have to go back and kind of correlate with the story, with the descriptions they've given you in these 3 books to figure out which Joker it was during what time period.
Right.
Right.
Because it's almost like a different Joker per volume of Batman.
Exactly. When you read the stories, these 3 do fit into some of the Batman stories, but they don't fit all of the Jokers that have been in Batman stories. So it seems like there might be more than 3, which I guess we'll get answers to because you've all heard probably by now that there is the rumor that there's going to be a sequel to the 3 Jokers.
no.
I have not heard that.
Oh, y'all didn't know? Oh man!
I didn't know.
I'm glad I got to drop that bombshell for y'all.
No, that's good. But is it gonna be another 3 years? Well, with AT&T, it's probably gonna be 10 years.
It might be 10 years from now before we get it.
Right.
But they're talking about there's going to be. They announced it like right before the collected hardback edition of the 3 books together came out that there's going to be a sequel to the 3 Jokers, which made me feel a lot better. Which everybody will understand when they get to the end.
Right.
Well, folks, if you haven't heard it prior to seeing this, you heard it first on the Comic Hall and Roundtable Discussion on YouTube.
I'm glad we were able to. We dropped the bomb on everybody.
Thanks, Chris.
You heard it here first.
All right. So basically, we don't know who this one is right now. So, all right. So we'll skip on to the next panel. And they're looking at photos again after the tense stare down and talk. What do you think of Bruce? That one of these 3 is the original? Bruce says yes. I'm not going to even go into this because this actually ties into the end. Because this, I'm not gonna lie, this right here, I was confused. I ain't gonna lie. We're gonna talk about it, but this right. Okay, all right. So we're gonna talk about it. So 1 to 3 is the original. Bruce said yes, and then they show the Joker laughing, and then hold on, and then that one made 2 others at some point in time. It's all a joke to him, or maybe it isn't. So Batgirl goes to say maybe he made the other 2 trying to hide his true identity. Maybe we can finally find out who the Joker really is. And then Jason Todd says he's probably some nobody. And then Batgirl responds, is there anything else you can tell us, Bruce? And then
before we move on, that statement by Barbara talking about maybe he created the other 2 to hide his identity. The Joker doesn't give a damn if anybody knows his identity or not.
Right.
So that was like one of the dumbest things she could have said. He doesn't care if you know who he is or isn't. All he cares about is Batman. So he's doing all this just to fuck with Batman.
True. But again, it ties into the end. The Joker may not care if everybody knows who he is, but as the ending kind of explains, it,
Right.
Don't want to give it away till we get there,
right,
but
right.
But that kind of, even though it, she doesn't know what Bruce knows, in a roundabout way, she kind of hit on something that Bruce is already, you know, that
Aware
Bruce already
of.
does, right, is already aware of, right.
Interesting. Okay. So moving on. Bruce says yes. And he apologizes to Jason. I'm sorry I failed you, Jason. And Batgirl is touching the photo of the Joker that Jason murked. And I wonder did she feel anything? Because she had every opportunity. We talked about this on the first one. She had
Man,
every opportunity to stop what happened, and she didn't.
she got to feel some guilt. That's what Batgirl's good at.
That's probably why she touching his picture so lovingly or something. I don't know.
Just saying.
I miss him. I miss him so much. Like I'm just like I said,
Wish I had to stop that killing.
her character in this her whole character arc in this story was for me it was conflicting because she was all over the place, and maybe it was supposed to be that way. I don't know, but she was just hither and yonder place. She celebrating Christmas one day, Yom Kippur the other, Easter the next. So I don't know.
But to me, after the first book, she was really irrelevant to me. Just to me, she really didn't. I mean, later on in this book,
Right.
it'll see why she's still around. But what did she do after the first issue except ask questions?
Antagonize Jason.
Right.
Pretty
I mean,
much.
she
Pretty
kissed
much.
Jason and
She cock teased them and all that kind of
The
stuff.
blue balls.
Basically,
right. Like, I mean, that's really all Batgirl has done. She's actually been the most ineffectual member of the team in these issues. She hasn't actually done. I mean, well, technically in that sense, neither is Bruce, but I mean, Jason's the only one that's actually like
Right.
taking action during everything in this. Everybody
But,
else seems to just be along for the ride.
but rightfully so, though. He was the most affected by it.
That is also very true.
True.
Getting killed and then kidnapped and beat up will do that to you.
Right.
And resurrected, yeah.
And resurrected twice.
And to have it done again, except
Right.
not killed.
That might have been his favorite helmet they broke too.
Perhaps.
So was it a patch job, or did he just get a new one?
Just get a whole new helmet. Like,
Okay. Well, Batman goes on and says, "Let me help you find a better path, Jason. A new identity. Leave Red Hood behind. It's not too late." I think it is Batman because he's been Red Hood for so long, and you
Right,
just
like,
not asking him to change his identity.
who's it
And
gonna
see-
be?
And C Maddox says conflicted, and I just took it as the story trying to show us she is stuck in the middle. That was a nice helmet, LOL. It could be the case for Barbara. I don't know. She confused me throughout the whole story because I mean, in 1 minute she's pro Bruce, next minute she's pro Todd, next minute she in the middle, next minute she don't know what the heck she want to do. Next minute she want to go to Checkers. Next minute she want to go to Subway. It's like she was all over the place.
Barbara just all over the place.
Yeah,
But some checker fry be real good right now, though.
they are delicious, man.
That they are.
Very delicious. Shout out to Checkers and Rallies. Okay, so going to the next set of panels. Maybe Jason Todd thought about it for a few seconds.
I don't even think he had a second. It's like, I don't even.
Yeah, I mean, he's looking away from Bruce, and he's like, should I? But he quickly said no. And then here come Barbara. Jason, he's trying. Let's focus on stopping the Jokers, okay? This ain't about me. It's about catching the Jokers.
Right. I love how he was just like, this ain't about me.
Right. Meanwhile, he says he don't need help. And then I just noticed this right here, that little scar. They ain't never really focused on that scar across his nose. But then you go to the next panel to the right, and that's when he was butt ball naked in that YMCA.
In the YMCA.
Yeah, getting dealt with. And then he went back even further to when he didn't have no protection across his head. So
hey, Remo, they're not the same when you buy them at the grocery store, though.
Hey, you know what though?
It ain't the same.
You put them suckers in the air fryer, they delicious, bro.
Yeah, in the air fryer, you gotta almost have old grease. You
No,
gotta have
Yeah,
old grease and
it ain't
cook
the same.
checker fries.
It ain't the
air
same.
fryers are the next best thing since the George Foreman grill, man. I'm telling you that thing. If you're in the chat and you don't have an air fryer, go buy one. I'm telling you, it'll change your life. Okay, so we're
But
not
you
talking.
know what though? Speaking
Uh-huh.
about the scar though, it's one of the things when you think about it, this whole issue has been about the scars the Joker has left on all of them. Think back to the first issue when Bruce was going over his room and you saw all the scars and the scratch from Catwoman, the shot from the Penguin and the stabs from the Joker. This book has been about the physical, emotional, and like mental scars that they have all endured through their interactions with the Joker. And
Mhm.
so I will say that they've done a great job um, correlating that by showing, you see the scar across the nose, and then you see the crowbar across the head to show where that scar possibly came from. You
Yeah.
know, to give you that correlation, like this is one of those things like this. They're to show you that they're not only that they have their own PTSD, but that even when they're looking in the mirror, they have flashbacks from it because they've got all these physical scars that no matter how much therapy they may get to help them move past it, you have these physical reminders every day when you look at yourself from this, traumatic event that happened in your life.
And it's funny you should say that because I had a thought about a show to do in reference to that. I mean, if you think about it, just hypothetically speaking, for a quick second, if we could deviate, if superheroes existed in real life, and see, Maddox, I'm gonna show you a comment in just a second, but if superheroes existed in real life and we had the batch of heroes that we have, of course, superheroes are going to have trauma just like first responders, police officers, because they will see things that most other people won't see. But do you all think that non-superpowered superheroes or costume vigilantes like Punisher, Red Hood, Batman, do you think they suffer more from PTSD and trauma than a powered superhero would?
I don't think so because they're already, in order for them to do what they're doing, they have some kind of mental like instability about themselves. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think they're gonna have PTSD. Now I take that back to a certain degree. When you got somebody like the Punisher, let's say we have a lot of soldiers right now who are superheroes but aren't considered superheroes. They
Right.
have PTSD from what they experienced across seas.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it can weigh heavily on them, but they may not go out to the point to try to be a vigilante because a lot of them don't want to relive that. At least
Right.
a lot of the people that I talk to, they don't want to go through that again. They were happy to get out because it was so much stress on them. So to try to relive that, I don't think they'll put themselves in that situation.
Um, Oddly enough, DC touched on this. For those of you who may have missed it, it's like a 9-issue story arc. It's in the trade paper now, but the story Heroes in Crisis deals with how superheroes, for the first time ever, and it was one of those things that I'd never even thought about as an avid comic reader now for years. It had never dawned on me or something for me to think about is like, how do heroes deal with near death experiences, PTSD, and traumatic events that happen? Is like, we all, Superman died and he came back, but nobody ever thinks like, how did that actually affect Superman? How did that affect Clark Kent to literally die and come back to life? How did it affect Batman to get his back broken and then heal and walk away? How did it affect Wonder Woman to die? The Flash to get his legs broken and all these other things that happen to them. And Heroes in Crisis actually deals with that. That it shows how these heroes are actually affected. They don't just push past it. Like even Batman, Superman, one of them, even the big three and all the members of the Justice League, each of them make a guest appearance in this comic story, talking about how they've each dealt with their own PTSD and their own struggles. And it's really interesting because just like C Maddox asked, about Jason's trauma being the most overlooked, in a correlation, you know, nobody thinks about Superman's trauma because in Heroes in Crisis, Superman talks about how it really weighs on him and pulls him down, and he feels guilty because he can always hear everybody in trouble, and he knows that whenever he chooses to save one person, he is also choosing to not save someone else. And that that guilt of knowing it, and it, because it's one thing to know you can't save everybody. It's completely another thing to know and hear that you're not saving everybody. And
So that makes him a serial killer then. No, like for real, hear me out, okay? The reason I say that makes him a serial killer, look how many times he chose to save Lois Lane, of all people, Lois Lane, over everybody else. So every time he saved her over and over, he killed somebody else.
someone else is not being rescued, right? But
Right.
that's a choice that he's making. It's a choice that every hero makes. Choice every time the Flash chooses to save Linda or Iris, or
Right.
whenever Batman chooses to save Catwoman from whatever danger she might be
Right.
in. They're all making this choice, and they all weigh that guilt. Difference is, I guess, in a sense, Jason deals with his guilt rather violently whenever he feels guilty about something. He takes it out on, like we saw in the first issue when he was trying to get
Right.
answers out of those Joker criminals. He curb stomped that dude into a tomb, into a headstone. Like they were knocking out teeth left and right, And the Boy TV show does that also. Yeah, and I don't think Jason's trauma is overlooked, but I also think I think the writers have a hard time trying to express, how Jason deals with his trauma. Like the Red Hood and the Outlaws comic book did a great job of that in the beginning, and then they kind of, after like the first couple of story arcs, they kind of just like walked away from it. But it's one of those things that Jason still deals with regularly.
That was the reason I started reading it.
Right, because they just kind of just like it was going good, and then I think somewhere around like issue 20, they just stopped worrying about Jason processing what he was going through, and it just disappeared.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think it was when they took Arsenal out the comic is when it hurt, because they were two amazingly good sidekicks together, because they were both two sidekicks who, in the world of comics, at their time, both experienced what was like the biggest, things that could have happened from opposite ends. One of them died, and the other one became a junkie, and everybody gave up on him.
And there was also balance. She brought balance to that story.
Yeah. Starfire brought that balance between them, but then when it became, when he left and you got Artemis and Bizarro, the concept of the story kind of changed, and they went from being just Red Hood and the Outlaws to being more of they were kind of like the Dark Trinity, because he's like a darker Batman, she was a darker Wonder Woman, and he's literally the opposite Superman. So they became like a Dark Trinity, so the story wasn't the same anymore, giving you what you needed as far as a Red Hood fan, as a Jason fan, learning about him and seeing his trauma being processed in each issue. You lost that.
Good stuff. Good stuff. You know what? That Heroes in Crisis, I forgot all about that. I bought that series. That might be a good
It is a really good series.
A good book to actually do a confab on. We'll talk about it later. But moving on, we go to the next panel, and Jason Todd says, "I just want to find the Jokers and be done with it all." Going down a little bit further, but answer this question, Barbara, Bruce. Oh, but first answer Barbara's question, Bruce. You got something else here to add? And Bruce is hiding something, and he lies. I think he lies. He says no. But that panel implies that, yeah, he's hiding something, but he ain't telling the truth.
Technically, he's not lying. He didn't want to add nothing else. You know what I'm saying? Because if it shows, I'm not gonna say it because it'll ruin the book.
No. Let me ask you this, because I think I know where you're going with this. Is this particular panel actually alluding to what happens at the end?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. See, now that flew over my head the first time I read it, so I wasn't even thinking about that, because I was trying to get to the end, like, what is going on with this story? Okay, cool beans. So let's see here. Super Flash, yes, just a little podcast boy, does a good job of talking about superhero PSD. Big Remo.
You'll be all right.
I'll rub a little dirt on it. They'll be fine. All right. That's the childhood strengthening practice right there.
Put a little tussin on it.
Yeah. Some mercurochrome for people
Oh,
that live in
no.
the South. Boy. Ooh,
Oof.
that's some rough stuff, boy. Oh, God. Okay. So next panel. I don't believe you know his real name, don't you? What? You think he keep that from us if he do? Do you, Bruce? If I did, you know it too. Sly devil. You know how to answer them questions.
Right, like I didn't lie to you. I just
He didn't lie.
Yeah, like that's always been Bruce's thing though. He compartmentalizes everything, and why anybody in the Bat family at this point believes anything Bruce says to him when it comes to certain things, I have no idea. Because he won't lie to you. He'll just conveniently not tell you the truth.
That was a lie.
Like
that was a lie.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm just saying, like, you know what I'm saying? Like
that was a lie.
Like,
and y'all will find out why that's a lie.
For those who haven't read the story, you'll find out that Maury got that super deluxe lie to take the test on Bruce Wayne. So yeah. All right. So after he says what he says, they get a beat from the bat alert and then go to the next page. It actually segues from that beat to a police siren, or actually a fire truck siren.
I give him credit. That was a nice transition.
Yeah, that was a nice segue into the next scene. So we skip on down and we are at the scene of a crime. And wouldn't you know it, we are at Blackgate Prison. And all of a sudden, Batman knows teleportation. He is at Blackgate.
It's an instant transmission.
Instant transmission like Goku.
So, Goku. You know Vegeta can do it now.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we need to do another one about that.
Man, I'm behind on that, so that's a whole nother one.
Oh, Yardrat.
Mathelia. Oh, you talking about that old school medication, right? That Big Remo's old soul. That's what I'm talking about.
With the crest at the top of it.
Boy, I mean,
brand new.
Remo, you hide with me, man. Yeah. You hide with me, Remo. Oh, Remo. All right, so we're at Blackgate, and Commissioner Gordon, or whatever Gordon, is he a commissioner in this, or is he just a detective?
No, I think he's commissioner. Yeah, he commissioner.
Okay. So Commissioner.
Well, he got to be commissioner because of Barbara.
That's right. So they took him. They took Joe Chill, and then Batman says, "I want to see his cell." All right. So he about to do some detective working. So we see Batman in Joe Chill's cell. He's looking around. He's deducing. He's making some deductions. He's looking around, canvassing the joint, and he's looking at a bookshelf, and he sees some stuff tucked away between some books. He pulls that information. He looks at it, and what do you know? Some documents that has his name on it, Bruce Wayne. So
surprise.
Trying to figure out what's going on with this. So since no action going on in this panel, we skip to the next one. So Bruce is looking through all the documents. Everything got Bruce Wayne's name on it. Commissioner Gordon said, "What is it?" Batman says, "Letters. He wrote them all the time." And then here comes Warden, one of the few black people in the show or in the comic.
Is that a warden? I thought it was a random officer.
Yeah, I thought it was an officer too.
Well, I just gave him the title Ward just to have.
Just gave him a pay upgrade. All right, just
in the story.
They say, "Hey, they've seen a warden in uniform,
wearing a prison guard uniform."
Hey, man, I didn't want to call him the token black man of this particular book. So I wanted to say
we say officer.
Ward is just like, I'm one of the guys.
We're gonna give him a last name, Officer Dudley. So Officer Dudley says, "Sorry, I just heard you were here, and you're going to catch him, aren't you?" And then Batman says, "Joe Chill." And then Officer Dudley says, "No." The Joker.
No,
Batman says, "If these are letters, why not mail them?" And then Officer Dudley says, you'd have to ask Reverend Evans. All right.
I'm gonna talk to the Reverend.
Hey man, Reverend Evan baptized me, man, when I was 7 years old.
Are you serious?
Lizzie Chapel Baptist Church.
Hey man, shout out to Reverend Evans. What up, Cantonese Comic Kid, aka Jeff? Thanks for joining us, sir. Bit Remo, that little laugh. Okay. Let's move on. So we gotta go meet Reverend Evans. So let's go on to the next panel so we can get to Reverend Evans. Reverend Evans.
Pastor.
All right. Pastor Reverend Evans. Okay, so we at the next panel, and then Batgirl and Red Hood are outside of Blackgate looking, wondering what's going on. Batgirl's taking the front.
Whatever will we do?
Red Hood's walking up close to her. And he says, can we talk? Tevin Campbell style.
Tevin Campbell style.
Right.
For a minute, girl, I want to know your name. Batgirl is tripping. She ain't even paying this dude no mind. Like, she is just straight up tripping.
She wonder why she ain't got no lenses in her mask.
Right. Everybody else got the white.
Everybody else.
Everybody got. She's like, do they not come in that size? Why don't they have me none?
Well, we know what color her eyes are, you know.
Batwoman's got lenses.
Which shows how incompetent Commissioner Gordon is.
How many blue-eyed redheads are there in Gotham?
Exactly. That sounds just like your daughter. Like,
you don't know your daughter's chin line.
You don't never stay this kid?
No facial structure. She don't remind you of your wife or nothing.
Nothing.
Okay. But anyway, Jason Todd asked, can we talk? And he goes on to say, I screwed up. Barbara, in all her infinite wisdom, screwed up. Jason, do you understand the position you put both me and Bruce in by killing the Joker? We're trapped. We have no choice but to let you walk away from it. I don't ever want to do anything like that again, really. This man is crying for help.
He is.
I mean, honestly, he's been crying for help the whole series. Like ever since issue 1, he's been saying, hey, y'all, please help me. Y'all know I'm a hard nut to crack, but y'all need to do something to help me, please. You know? Go ahead, Chris. I'm sorry.
No, but it's true. Like, he's, since the beginning of this, Jason's been saying, like, look, I got problems. I know I got problems, but I also know I can't fix them because my way's not working. Mm-hmm. So can somebody please help me? And unfortunately, he's been asking Bruce, and Bruce ain't the helping kind. Like, let's just be real. If history has taught us one thing, Bruce is not the guy you go to for emotional support, because that's just not how that works. But
why not holler at Alfred?
Because Alfred, I love Alfred, but Alfred ain't nothing but an enabler too. He ain't. I mean, he ain't helped Bruce at all.
Alfred helped out Master Dick all his life
because he knew he could save him.
He can save this one.
No.
Hey man, all this man wanted was one ear, just one ear, Alfred, and maybe a piece of a shoulder to lean on, and a handkerchief so he can actually cry. I think he just need to cry.
Think if he could cry it out, he'd be all right.
Two things: he need to cry, and he need to squeeze one off. Because I think he died before he ever squeezed one off. That's why if you notice, he only had the puppy eyes when he's with Barbara, because that was the closest he came. Yeah. You look at every panel when they by themselves, he got them sad puppy dog eyes.
You can't cry in front of Batman. There's no crying in baseball. Like, you can't cry in front of Batman. Not unless something's broke.
Big Rebo said, what I'm gathering so far is Joker winning because he got all these fools in their feelings while he juggling punchline at Harley.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Yeah.
Hey, I don't know though. Batman got a Batman Rogue Gallery ain't just for villains.
Man, Batman Rogue Gallery is
I'm talking about, hey, Batman got more than one kid. I can promise you that.
Man, let me tell you something. Out of all the superheroes and villains, superheroes that I've read, it's only 2 superheroes that got like rogues galleries that just out of the stratosphere. Batman is number one in my book. Number two is Spider-Man.
I was gonna say Spider-Man. Yep.
Bruh, I'm talking about they got a vast array of villains and anti-villains and anti-heroes. It's a wonder both of them ain't excuse my
Not a
French, but
Snickers.
that shit crazy. But Cookie said he needs a Snicker. That's what he needs.
Hey, he need the Snickers ice cream bar.
Hey,
He don't need a regular one.
He need to hop in the Batmobile and go to the nearest Quick Trip and get him.
Right, grab a
He
Snickers.
need that
Knock
Snicker
yourself.
bar, so when you get that brain freeze, you stop and think about it, and when it's done, just go back to being yourself.
You're not you when you're hungry. Grab
Not you when you're hungry. Grab a Snickers.
And that was not a promotion for Snickers because they ain't paying us nothing. But anyway,
I ain't got not the first free Snickers ever in my life.
Never in life.
So Batgirl looks at Jason and says, "I hope not, because next time I'll unmask if I have to."
Mm-hmm. Talk a good game when it ain't on the line.
I don't believe it.
She ain't never been in the position to have to give herself up.
I don't
never.
What JC said, I don't believe you. You need more people. I don't believe you, Batgirl.
Don't know about it.
Like you said, she's never been in that position to where she's had to snitch on herself, because she's never had the situation. She's, aside from the Joker shooting her, she ain't really been in no dire straits.
Right.
I mean, but even with that though, so look at it. Batman got his back broke as Batman, so they had to hide the fact that he was Batman when Bruce Wayne went to get treated, if I remember correctly. Jason Todd died as Robin, so they had to hide that. She got shot as Barbara Gordon. And like, they didn't have to hide anything, so she ain't never had to go through that. I'm spoiled behind. Golly.
Yeah, that
I mean, I got mad just then.
That to me, that's the degree of the I'm not gonna say arrogance. What's the word that I'm looking for? She's being very sanctimonious right now because
entitled.
There you go. She's being very entitled and pretentious. Thank you, X. Because she's never been through those situations before. Simply because, like you said, when she got ganked, she was ganked as Barbara Gordon, so she didn't have to hide the fact that she was Batgirl. Batgirl could have just been on a vacation in Prague. You know what I'm saying? So, she chilling as Oracle, and nobody would be none the wiser. So, but shout out to everybody that's in the chat that haven't responded. We appreciate you all watching. But anyway, Jason Todd goes on to say, or basically says he was full of regret, which actually is to segue into the next panel. So there are the letters. So he was full of regret for what he did, and that's Reverend Evans, the man that baptized X. Not him, but somebody else. I'm sorry.
This was dropped me in the water. Literally dropped me in the water. Slipped right out his hand.
Oh Lord. I'm glad you're okay, sir.
Glad you made it.
Hey, I was draped. Okay.
So Reverend Evans says, "You do know what Joseph Chill did, don't you? Like, you don't know."
Because it's possible for Batman not to know something.
Not exactly. Even if he wasn't Bruce Wayne, he would know because he's Batman. He's
Batman.
So Batman goes on to say, everyone in Gotham knows what Joe Chill did to be put in Blackgate, Reverend Evans. He should have said, "I'll slap you for that stupid ass comment."
Right? Like, did you really just say, "I'm Batman"? Like, that should have been his answer. Like, do you know what Joe Chill did to get put in here? I'm Batman. And the Reverend should have just went right on talking.
Right, exactly.
But you know what though? I think if he would have responded any other way, he would have figured out that he was Bruce Wayne.
Yeah. Jigs up.
I heard
I'm Batman because of Joe Chill. Oh, wait.
But see, that's just like I talked about. In issue 2 when they were there and they were at the infirmary, and she was like, and Batgirl was talking to him. She's like, "Bruce, are you sure we should do this?" Like, "I'm sure you should lower your voice. There is a nurse like 5 feet away.
Right.
You mind not calling me Bruce in costume?" Like,
she don't never call him Batman.
Yeah, she always calls
she like never. Yeah.
Do you not understand? Maybe she doesn't understand secret identities because hers is crap. because of them big old eye holes and the red hair. Maybe she don't understand that everybody else actually likes to keep it a secret.
Like at least Batwoman wore a wig.
Right, and she's got
You know
lenses
what I'm
too in her
saying?
mask though. Batwoman got
Right.
lenses too.
Yeah.
Barbara, the only
Well,
one, literally the only one.
well, according to the TV show episode 1, which is the only one I saw, she turned the old bat suit that had breast cups already formed in it into her suit.
That's a whole nother. You know what? Let's just keep going. Let's not even.
Yes, exactly.
I can't even with Batwoman. I'm not. Mm-mm.
Chill wrote a dozen letters to Bruce Wayne apologizing, as near as I can tell, though none of them are finished. Reverend Evans says Joseph dropped out of school when he was 13. He was doing his best in classes here, but his learning disability slowed him down. Batman says so he gets sick and he wants to repent. Reverend Evans says, oh no, Joseph started writing those long before he fell ill. The plot thickens.
The one person in all of Gotham that Batman's just like, my money can't help.
Right.
But I got a question. What learning disability does he or condition does he have where he can't write?
Maybe
I know some.
Maybe it's his vocabulary. I mean,
Right,
if he's educated up to a certain level in school, you know, the higher you go up, theoretically, you're supposed to learn more. So if he
I
only
get
got
that. I get it, but Junior's only 2 years older than him when he dropped out of school and can write a letter. We were writing pen pals at younger than that.
That's true. Hey man, I don't know. Maybe they'll have a Joe Chill book and talk about that stuff. I don't know. For one shot.
The Joe Chill origin story.
One shot Joe Chill origin story.
I hope not. God, I hope not.
Hey man, that'll be cool. That'll be something
different. We'll be sitting here crying.
Joe Chill lived a terrible life. I'm so sorry. God, help him, Lord. God, I see why he killed Batman, mom and dad. You know. Anyway, so we move on to Monarch Theater, and someone is actually breaking in. And we skip down. They tore all the boards off. They wanted to make sure they got in comfortably. So apparently this is Reverend Evans. I don't know why I can't say that. Reverend Evans still talking. He says he talked about the darkness within his soul often. Next panel. Darkness he was trying to understand. He didn't deny what he'd done. In fact, he tried to explain. Batman says, how? In those letters. Bruce Wayne looks at the letters. Reverend Evans says, why would anyone want to take them? What do they want for? Bruce Wayne continues to look at Batman continues to look at the letters, looks at the letters some more, and then he says, I'm going to find out. In the letters, there's a ticket. Mark of Zorro with a Joker sticker says with compliments. So the Joker sent him that, didn't he?
Seems like it.
My thing is, these are the worst guards ever. These are the worst guards ever. Like,
no one in Gotham gets paid enough.
Like, but they got an easy job. Batman do 90% of the work for him.
Yeah, but then you got to put up with him actually like being locked up.
This man, if he got time to sit down and write a bunch of letters on a 13-year-old's education, I'm sure he wasn't that bad.
Well, look how he wrote Batman. Well, no, that's the Joker.
That's the Joker.
That's from the Joker. Yeah, them some Barney Fifes, man. Straight up Barney Fife, Don Knotts, Apple Dumpling Gang guards right there, boy, for real. But okay, so the Joker somehow. Okay, so do you all think when he kidnapped Joe Chill that he slid those? Hold up.
He put that last one in there just because he knew Batman would be the one to look,
exactly.
whereas the guards wouldn't look.
So let me ask y'all this: at this particular point in the story, do you all think that the Joker knew that Bruce Wayne was Batman, or he just did it because he knew Batman was going to look at those letters?
The Joker's known for a long time who he
Yeah, I've
was.
always felt like he's known, but it's not funny if everybody else knows.
Right. He just doesn't want to tell everybody. You know, it's almost like what's his name? Hugo Strange knows, but it defeats the purpose of everybody knowing.
Yeah. See, that's why you all are the connoisseurs of Batman, and I'm just here for the ride. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I really mean that because I learn something every time we have these conversations. So, all right. So, Batman has found a piece of evidence, Mark Zorro, with compliments from the Joker. And we move on back to Monarch Theater. Hold up. That ain't right. I'm sorry. I'm going backwards in time.
Yeah, backwards.
Okay. So we moving forwards now. And Batman is back in the Batmobile with Jason Todd. Batgirl is trailing behind. And there is dead silence in the car. Batman looks like he's pissed. Batgirl looks like she's thinking about something. And on the way,
Why she not blinking with the raindrop hitting her in the eye?
because she's hardcore, man. She's
Right,
hard.
like she
ought to be used to it.
there's that too probably.
You jumping off of ceilings, not ceilings, but you jumping off of roofs and with no eye protection on. She got to be used to that. All that eye, that wind in her face and
That's
stuff.
gangster.
Straight up, I
Gangster.
was just thinking the same thing. She ought to be gangster, man.
How many times have we seen her in the Batmobile?
Not many.
None. She don't ride in the Batmobile. With
Yeah, I
Batman.
never seen her in the Batmobile.
But her eyes should be so tough. She could take a BB straight to the pupil.
Bruce gave her a motorcycle. You don't ride that. No girls allowed in the Batmobile.
I don't think He-Man Woman Haters Club. But
Even Damien is driven the Batmobile.
Catwoman's allowed. Catwoman's allowed in the Batmobile.
That's his name, Squeeze.
Oh,
man.
yeah.
Right.
That's his name.
Vicky Vale been in the Batmobile.
See what happened to her though.
Right, Cookie. She just needs to make sure not to smile full of bugs. Yeah. She's smiling. Like she was on the cell phone talking to her boyfriend or something. She was smiling. She catch a mouth full of gnats. But okay, so Monarch Theater. Anyway, that type of conversation, man. It's what you have to do, dude. Maybe I'm just playing. So they get to Monarch Theater. And then the Joker just went up there and just put everything. He had time to put all of that up there. One night only. The new Joker. He didn't have an E, so he spray painted it. The dude is very resourceful. Okay, so
worst cops ever.
They in Gotham City, man.
That's why Batman does what he does, because they can't find stuff like that.
I'm sure we all remember that song R. Kelly wrote. We all need city of love and peace, Gotham City. Oh yeah,
Hey man, the remix is way better.
Oh yeah, with that girl rapping. Yeah, that was dope. I'm gonna listen to that after the show. Matter of fact, we're gonna listen. I wish we could play it. I wish we could play it for YouTube, but they've been copyright striking everybody.
Right.
They've been getting everybody.
And R. Kelly in jail, and he need that money. So no, I'm good. Okay, so we're gonna skip on to the next panel.
Don't get peed on. You talking about Aura? He gonna come out and get you.
Aura Kelly, no, that ain't gonna be it.
Gonna have some doo-doo butter.
I'm not gonna do it. I was about to sing that song, man. Rolling around sitting on dubs, cat and owls, hound shrubs. I'm gonna sing it. Anyway. Okay, so Batman is directing Batgirl to go here, and he's directing Jason Todd to go there, and then he's going through the front. Batman said he's gonna take this on head on
first.
He gonna take point, and that's right. Mm-hmm.
Right, he's gonna take point. So if I could deviate, never mind, I ain't gonna deviate. I'm gonna go on to the next panel, man. But that girl got a big old dunk. Y'all see that?
I was looking at how the Joker is very good with a spray can.
Yeah, because it's the same size as the rest of the letters and stuff. So yeah, he is very skillful. Well, I mean, he should be because that's all he used, well, amongst other things.
Right.
Then anyway, we go to the next panel. Batgirl gets to the roof. Batman gets to the front, and Jason Todd gets to the side. Everybody's making their move on the inside.
I love how Jason's just like, I ain't got time to pick no locks.
Right. He used acid. Everybody else using
Jason's like,
toothpicks and hair clips. Right.
He's straight. He is straight to the point. Like he's like, man, I don't really want to be with these people, but I'm gonna do what I got to do so we can get this over with. So
Jason probably looking at it like I did. Like V Cops ain't gonna. They didn't find this big sign with the Joker name on it. They not gonna notice that I use acid to burn this lock.
Jason like, this ain't Fallout. Ain't nobody got time for screwdrivers and bobby pins.
So it seems like all three of them get in simultaneously. That was staged, set up. I don't know, but they got in pretty much no issues.
Like that each door made a different sound.
Hold on,
I didn't pay attention to that.
Hold on.
Each door made a completely different sound when it opened.
Clanks, creak, clanks. Okay. Cool.
Batman. You mean tell me that utility belt? He ain't got no
WD-40.
Y'all know it's in the car.
Like that door closed.
Hey man, look, we talked
about the stealth approach.
We talked about this on the first video. Like if that man got manta ray and shark repellent, he got some WD-40. He just didn't have it on him. It's in the car.
Right.
So we move on, and we're starting to get towards the finale, the main event. Okay, so Batgirl's head downstairs. Looks like Jason is in the film room. Batman is down in the auditorium. Sound effects galore. Okay, so somebody's turning on the projector. Please take your seats, ladies and gentlemen. The show is about to begin. And here comes that trademark laugh. All right. So we move to the next panel. This man has filmed Joe Chill. It's finally time to confess, Mr. Chill. Why did you really kill Thomas and Martha Wayne? You know, I was wanting to know this forever. Batman's looking up. I don't know what you mean. Oh,
that is real. That picture of Batman, that is real Michael Keaton-esque.
Mm-hmm.
It is. Yeah, it is.
Gotta throw it in there for one more good time.
Yeah. All right, so the Joker says, oh, sure you do, Mr. Chill. I read all your letters, the minister's notes. You've seen the light, praise be. All right, so Batgirl gets to the projector room and she hears what's going on. And then, all of a sudden, good gracious alive, the Joker, I'm going to tell y'all something about the Joker, man, which is, y'all know my deal. I'm not really been that big of a Batman fan until recently. Started reading a good bit of Batman. Still not into the series. A lot of the side stories and stuff.
Right.
One thing about the Joker, this fool is meticulous. Why would you even go through the whole process of putting all these people in the same suit, the same color, gloves and everything on? Whatever this dude decides to do, he does it to the umpteenth degree.
To the fullest.
And all because he has a obsession for Batman. That is insane. That's truly insane. But anyway, you see the Joker, what do they call these suits anyway? Are they porter suits or usher suits or something?
Usher suits been in there in the movie theater, so there'll be usher suits.
So everybody's decked out in usher suits, the same color. Like, I want to know who his seamstress is. Like, I'm
talking about top notch.
That's one of those things that I always wondered, like, who thought because he had to order these things. Who you supply uniforms, and some man
Amazon.
calls you up, and he's like, "I need 3 dozen purple usher uniforms with the little box hats, and they have to have white trim." And he gets all specific about what it, and you don't think, especially if you obviously if
No
you live
red.
in Gotham, and you never think maybe, just maybe, I should inform the police that. I mean, I'm just saying, like, come on, who orders 3 dozen purple usher uniforms in Gotham City, and you don't think that's suspicious?
Not just usher suits. These are period usher suits from like the 40s, 50s.
Nobody
It's not-
wears these uniforms. I need 1950s air. I need 3 dozen purple 1950s movie theater usher uniforms.
There's only one other person I would think that would buy that many suits, and he is gone now. May he rest in peace, and that's Prince. Other than that, now that would be legitimate if you got that kind of an order from Prince. But other than that, no.
But I guarantee you, Prince didn't walk in no store, order no suits online. They are tailor making it for his body.
Right.
I was saying it could be for his show, like his dad.
But I don't know.
Right, exactly. Ass exposed. All right, so they're upstairs in the projector room. They're downstairs, and here is Batman looking up towards the rafters, and it's not Sting, ladies and gentlemen. It has all come down to this moment. Batman, haha. And then we see the Joker decked out in his trench coat, his Kung Lao hat, the whole nine, gloves just dressed to the nines. And this is the criminal. So he says, you, me, and him at the scene of the crime. I mean, yes, the other two are present. The cripple and the child.
I want to say something right quick. Al, you and I, we were talking a while back when we went to what's the name of the game store? Retro.
Retro Raven.
This right here, when you look at that one eye, that was one of the first indicators to me as to what was going to happen at the end of this book.
Really?
Because if you look at that and then you scroll over, there was a reason why they show only one eye in this instead of both of them. Now, y'all remind me to come back to it later on, but I'll say why. But I just wanted to point that out right there.
Chris, please set that mental note because I'll forget. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah.
Thank you,
I'll
sir.
come back to that.
Okay. So Joker announces that the other two were present, referring to Batgirl and Jason Todd. And he says, I thought about them, but as you know, the boy lacks sophistication and the girl has too much heart. So I picked the killer. And Batman, actually Joker says, come on, chill. Give me something to grab onto. And then Batman uses his whatever that thingamajiggy is, the bat grapple, to go up. Grappling gun, thank you. So all the while he's looking at the big screen, and Joe Chill is saying, the truth is, when I saw the Waynes coming down the alley, I knew who they were. Aha, Batman. And I hated them for what they had. And here's the Joker with a whole bunch of dynamite strapped to his chest. Keep your distance until I say so, homie. And then Joe Chill says they had everything. So Joe Chill is recounting his time when he saw the Waynes come out of the movie theater on that fateful night when Batman's story started. So Batman says, you want to make a new Joker, and you think that's Joe Chill. Batman says, how can it not be? And then we segue back to Batgirl fighting. She's going to town. I don't see why that Joker with her hand on his face didn't just chomp down on her. He did.
Right.
He actually did in the next panel. Yeah, he did.
Okay.
That's why she screamed, "Yeah," I guess. I don't know. Or maybe she was
Yeah.
listening to "Got You All in Check" by Busta Rhymes on her iPod or something. I don't know.
I was listening to that the other day, by the way.
Yeah, I listened to the remix with Old Dirty.
Man, that jacket he had on, boy. If I get my hands on one of them,
Oh man, yeah. Hit him up on IG. But they fighting. She's fighting against the Joker minions in the Usher suits, and she's checking with Red Hood to see what's going on with him.
hell, I can't hit ODB up on IG.
I thought you were talking about Busta Rhymes.
That brown leather jacket ODB had on.
Oh, okay. You guys are son. Nah, never mind. So here is the Joker, the Killing Joke Joker. So okay, so I'm lost right here. So apparently, are the Joker Usher she's fighting? Is it actually taking her back to when the Joker shot her? Oh no, this is the other Joker. My bad. Okay, so this is the other
Yeah, I'm
Joker.
gonna say it's still two of them.
Right.
Yeah.
This is the other Joker. She got some Joker minion blood on her mask. None in her eyes, by the way.
Nope.
But then you
So
got
she might have a clear visor then.
she might because it's blood all
I
up
don't think
under the eye.
it's the only thing I can think.
It could be clear.
Hey, y'all take note of this panel too.
Okay, make a note of that, Chris.
All right, then.
All right, two reminders.
2 reminders.
Okay. So that's the Killing Joke Joker. He actually shot the Joker Usher that she was fighting. So she's come face to face with her potential assailant. And then he says, smile. And says, I want you to know why I'm making a new Joker Batman. And then next panel, it says, because I want to mean more to you. More to you than anyone. Oh. Right now, I am nothing but undefined chaos. Then we scroll down to the next panel. And the Joker is on the screen. And at this time, Jason said, man, F this, man. I'm just murking y'all.
I'm done.
I'm not trying to
like, I'm out.
y'all.
That's why I love him. That is why I love Jason Todd.
I'm sending y'all to the Undertaker.
He said they're gonna die anyway. Let's go ahead and speed it up.
So
let's speed up this process.
Busting caps and all of masses. So the Joker says, tell us more, Joey. Get it off your chest. And then next panel, I need to be more. I need to be everything to you. Now, this is
it's that crazy love.
No, I don't want that. No, they had that. See now, if in my honest opinion, if I was Batman, I'd have to go ahead. Look, man, I'm gonna go ahead and pull out a batarang and I'm gonna hit you square in the chest and blow you up. Cause I don't need that in my life, bro. I'm being honest. I mean, you think about it though. I mean, this dude is worse than the worst stalker that you have ever heard of in your life. This man is going through all this because he wants to mean more to Batman than Batman's main squeeze, than Batman's first cousin, than Alfred.
That's his child.
That's crazy, man. I mean, that is the definition of just like, ugh. C Maddox says they have a unique marriage. If I can get my hold on.
Yes, it's unique, all right.
It's unique, all right.
I don't want that, man. I'm sorry, bro.
Don't nobody want that.
I'll be widowed.
You ain't kidding, bro. I would move to the Himalayas. As long as I can take
my all by myself.
Comic books and my video games and
I'll be happy all by myself.
A laptop, I'm good. No, bro, you ain't finding me. But then he says, and he can do that. And he's looking at Joe Chill. He can be the Joker who matters. Oops. So go to the next panel.
But again, it's like, why does he need a Joker who matters? Like they all, like everything he's done matters in its own way. Like it just seems
that goes along with the little hints that I was picking up on too.
the psyche of the Joker, man, is just one that if I was like in forensics, if I was like in law enforcement, I would actually do an in-depth study on the Joker, because the mentality that this guy has as a fictional character is fascinating, man. It's disturbing, but it's fascinating at the same time, because it's like, dude, you are out there. Like, you ain't got like I can't remember Denzel's name in Training Day when he said King Kong ain't got shit on me. The Joker, man, ain't nobody got Lonzo. Ain't nobody got shit on the Joker, man. This dude, he is in comic bookdom. He is a character unto himself, in my opinion. I don't think the Joker, in terms of the character and the character development, and anybody in the chat, if you know of anybody else that could actually come up close to this dude's mentality and his depravity, please put it in the chat, because this dude is, and I'm a Marvel fan, this dude is just out there, man. He's,
they say he's more self-aware of himself than Deadpool is. Like, he knows he's in a comic. Like, they say he's a super genius. Like, everybody say he's insane, but they're saying he's a super genius.
That's what they
because
say.
of the fact that he's full aware of himself.
Hey, man.
Which I can see it. I mean, to go through all of this just for one person and to try to eliminate the other two people that you brought in with it, yeah, that's next level right there.
He's a fascinating character, man. Like, they're straight up next level, though, for real. And I mean, I'm gonna pontificate that point in just a second. So he went into the Monarch Theater. He set up a movie. He recorded it, probably edited it too, with him and Joe Chill talking. He set up all these ushers everywhere in the movie theater to pounce, like Monty Brown. Shout out to TNA. So he turns around and he tells, well, Batman says he's a sick old man. That's all. And then the Joker says, sick. He says, I'm betting this little bath will put him in remission. A simple trade of physical health for mental health. Haha. Don't make me ask again, Mr. Chill, which is what's going on the movie screen. This man has built a bathtub full of the chemicals that caused him to become the Joker in the movie theater. So all the while, Batman looking down like, man, this MF is sick. So the movie says, tell me more. And then the Waynes, I figured they were people like me. I figured there were people like me because of people like them. I was angry, bitter, lost. I thought I'd take whatever they had on them, but their boy, where am I? So it skips back to Jason Todd shooting folks in the shoulder, looking for Batgirl.
Does a trick, puts them down.
I didn't see their boy with them. Yeah, kick their asses behind you. Not until it was too late. Blam. The Joker shoots him in the shoulder. Turnabout is fair play, Jason. So now the Killing Joke Joker says, now whose brains will be all over the floor? And then Batgirl says, was that you said? Grabbed his camera and said, smile. Okay, Batgirl.
I could just see Matt cringe looking at that camera shadow.
Probably.
It hurt him straight to his soul.
He had a stank face. So she kiboshes the Joker. Doesn't see the team. I do see the camera lens shattering. So she hits him in the face with the camera. Go to the next panel. Back to the Joker, the criminal Joker and Batman. Joker pull out a Tommy gun. That Joker got everything in that coat.
Like, who still uses a Tommy gun? Like,
I mean, you got to look at the ensemble that he has on. It suits so well.
Apparently,
like this dude. But where was it though?
Okay, now Rorschach is out there, but I don't think he got anything on the Joker, man. But that's a good answer.
Yeah.
I mean, He shattered glasses. He shatters a glass in a dude's hand to interrogate him. That's pretty
Yeah,
pretty vicious.
I that was a good answer, Cookie. I mean, yeah, Rorschach would probably be a few rungs below the Joker, but I still think the Joker is like there by himself. But
Man, what if Rorschach and Red Hood ran around together?
Man, just call everybody a rap. Don't even.
There'd be so
Ain't,
many
ain't nobody ready for
fatalities.
that. Ain't nobody ready for that.
hey man, it might be around the corner. You never know. But we see the Joker pull out a Tommy gun and he's shooting at Batman, and miraculously, all the bullets have not hit Batman. So
Of course not.
he's swinging away from the Joker, and meanwhile, we still got the broadcast going on the movie screen. I found out later who the Waynes really were. The Joker hits the rope.
You can't hit this 6 foot plus 300 pound rock solid muscle bound dude, but you hit the itty bitty behind rope that you have
Skill.
to have a special blade to cut
Skill.
when it goes taut.
It's all skill right there.
That's skill. That's that Clint Barton skill.
Right.
Years of practice, my friend. Years of practice.
Better than John Wick, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. So we see him shoot the rope, and then a series of events happens where the Joker falls, the lighter in his hand is set free, and then here comes Batman with a big high-tech boot. And while this is going on, dialogue is going on the movie screen. There were people trying to help Gotham with all they had. They were good people. Meanwhile, Batman kicks him with a size 11 in the chest. The lighter is descending to the vat of acid. I took them from their son. Joe Chill talking. All these years, and I still don't know how to tell him I'm sorry. And then you see, I guess there's an allegory with his picture behind him, and then the lighter, and then the explosion. And somehow or another, his eye changed colors. Or is that the Joker on the last panel?
No, that's Joe Chill. Because he's got the hat on. And then in the last, no. So it would be because you see Joe Chill there in that panel, in the second to last panel, and he's got the hat and the eye colors and the drawn face. So that's the Joker. So I guess the camera angle in the video itself changed to be the Joker.
The Joker, okay.
He's got like the sickly, like he's got liver problems, like his kidneys are
I
failing.
was just gonna say either that or Joe Chill has the worst case of jaundice ever.
Man, I was thinking about jaundice, man. Get out of my head. That was a deadly disease back in the 1800s.
Apparently, it still is.
I mean, well, when your liver starts shutting down, that's the first sign is you got jaundice eyes or whatever.
All right, and I'm gonna throw this up there. So if anyone has not read this, if you don't want to know, we gonna move forward. So thank you, Cookie. But get to the next page. There was an explosion, and as with a lot of what's the word I'm looking for? Of dramatic finales, there's fire everywhere.
Right.
The Joker pulls out a switchblade, trying to shank Batman. He starts laughing. Meanwhile, the Killing Joke Joker, face cut all up, left eye closed, trying to take pictures. I can't remember the last time I had this much fun laughing and carrying on. And we're just getting started. This dude is just as maniacal, taking pictures with a broke phone. And the place starts coming down all around them. Batgirl, she's trying to protect herself. And next thing you know, the other Joker's gone. Where'd he go? This isn't over. Next panel. No. This is still happening. Another criminal falls into the burning bath. Another Joker is born, and then he cuts the rope. Batman is looking like, dude, what is wrong with you?
I mean, but that's one of those things. Also, like he knows Batman's gonna save him. You know what I'm saying? Like when you're in a situation with Batman, you have to realize, one, Batman's not gonna kill you. He'll severely injure you, but he won't kill you. But two, you also know if you put a civilian's life in danger, and you make Batman choose between catching you or catching a civilian, Batman's gonna save the civilian every time, and you'll be able to get away, like without question. There's always that out with Batman.
Yeah. Well, that decision is right now. Batman looking at him like, WTF is wrong with you? And he cuts the rope. Joe Chill descends into the bath. Ha ha hey. That's what the Joker said. Ha ha hey. Ha ha hey. Okay, he runs off. He knows Batman's gonna do what he does, which is probably something calculated that he was planning on doing all along, knowing the Joker.
Of course.
Batman saves Joe
It's
Chill.
not. It always it's supposed to look like it's random, but it's not.
Right. So Batman saves Joe Chill. Joe Chill probably ready to die right around this time, though.
I mean, he got, what is it, cancer or something? I mean,
yeah. Cancer, so we get a panel, half panel. That's a dope little picture too.
Mm-hmm.
Batman saving Joe Chill, and there's a lot of what's the word? I'm short of words today, man. But what is that? What they call is kind of like hindsight and allegory or whatever. I mean, Joe Chill is the man that killed his parents, and now Batman is saving him killed his parents. Irony. Thank you.
The irony behind it.
Yeah, because here is Batman, who wouldn't be Batman without Joe Chill,
right?
Saving Joe Chill from Batman's greatest villain, who some argue wouldn't also exist without Batman. So again, in a sense, none of this would have ever happened if not for Joe Chill.
So this is this whole panel is more or less a full circle moment then.
Yeah, it's the circle of life.
Yeah, everything's coming to full circle. Okay. So Joker is hightailing it out of there, trying to get out of there. He turns around, and next thing he does, he sees the bat coming at him.
Hey man, Batman, his kicks are like psycho crushers.
He looked like, you remember Luke Cane's kick from Mortal Kombat 1, where you do forward low kick. That's what it looked like. Somebody did forward low kick, and he just kicked Joker. But what's more impressive is that he kicked Joker in the stomach, holding Joe Chill.
What's more impressive, he still got a vest on
with
dynamite, and it didn't explode.
Well, dynamite is designed not to explode just because it's on fire. It needs a trigger. But still, that was risky of Batman you don't know what kind of booby traps the Joker might have had on him.
He has a contraption in his suit that shoots acid out of a flower. What if that would have just seeped out a little bit and just caught all that?
Well, Batman won't have no left leg for sure.
Batman was willing to risk a foot to stop the Joker.
That would have been the minimum. Joker would have been dead. Batman been missing a leg or a foot.
Nah, he would have been dead. Cause Joe Chill would have died too.
Yeah. Oh no! Now the suit got what? All kind of buffers and shit. I don't know.
And
but that's like 12 sticks dynamite.
We don't know.
It would have ate all them layers or whatever.
All that layer, that fire retardant would have been gone.
Right.
Well, he didn't die. Neither did the Joker. So we're gonna skip to the next panel. All right. So the Joker got the. You know what? Hold up.
He kicked him through a concrete wall.
Let me just say this right here. This just brought something to my attention. I don't know if y'all remember, people in the chat. Back in the day, Batman fought the Hulk.
Yep.
And he defeated the Hulk with a kick similar to this.
I thought he beat him with pressure points.
No, he kicked him.
He kicked him in the stomach. Yeah, he kicked him in the stomach.
He kicked him in the stomach.
In the
Or
journal or
yeah,
whatever.
I get out of my head. Oh, Jackie Boo. I was just thinking the same
He hit him,
thing.
he hit him in his duodenum.
In the stomach. He hit him in the jejunum. Like, if y'all don't know what we talking about, that's the movie Semi-Pro. That movie is hilarious, man. That is one of Will Ferrell's funniest movies, though. That Flint Tropics. Okay, so we're gonna go to the next panel. The Joker is unconscious. Batman is landed, put Joe Chill on the ground. Joe Chill is coughing. And he's looking at Batman. So he comes to a startling revelation. I know who you are. So everything's coming to full circle. Like everything. So Batman's just staring at him. Ain't no telling what's going through Batman's mind at this time. So Batman says, or he didn't say anything, he's just looking at him. Looks at Joe Chill. He sees Joe Chill pointing a gun at him when he was younger. Joe Chill said, they talk about you in Blackgate. You know what I did here. Are you going to kill me? Batman says no. And I read that in Kevin Conroy's voice.
Yeah,
right?
I did too. I did too.
Like anytime he did them one-liners or those one sentences, I just read it. But I read the whole thing in Kevin Conroy's voice.
Every time. It's the only Batman voice I hear.
Right. So Joe Chill says, I deserve it. I truly am sorry. So this is redemption for Joe Chill. And it's also healing or therapy for Batman.
Y'all notice that the Joker put Joe Chill in this same exact outfit that he had on that night.
I didn't know.
Turtleneck, fedora, what
well, I mean,
all of it.
Again, it all comes back to the beginning. It comes back to where it all started.
Yeah, that attention to detail is just insane, man. The Joker is one sick dude. All right, so he says, I am truly sorry. And I think at this moment in this panel right here with Batman, that cut him. I think that cut him. He felt that, and I honestly believe that he believed what Joe said was the truth.
I don't think it cut him. I think it was the opposite. I think it was like a sigh of relief.
Could have been.
Batman is real good at picking up on if somebody's lying to him or not. And he sensed that was a sincere apology.
Yeah.
And it's closure.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The reason he became Batman was to basically have some kind of get vengeance for his parents' death.
Right.
And for him to see that the person that did it, who created everything, sincerely is like hurt and torn by what he did and spend all this time wanting to make amends for it, that I think that healed that's going to make Batman better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's less vengeance though, but
Yeah, and let me just clean up what I said about cut him. I don't think it cut him to the point to where it like hurt him. I think it was kind of like what you just mentioned. Like it really like let him know, okay, well, this man, he really meant what he said. He's really sorrowful for what he did. And like I said, I believe him. I think that's how it affected Bruce more so than anything. And I think that was kind of like closure that he needed to move forward from that, to where it's not only a situation now where he has to harp and think about, this man killed my parents. This man put me on the path of where I am right now. That chapter of his life based on this book can now be closed and he can move forward, you know.
Hopefully move forward.
Thank you, Chris. Hopefully, he might relapse.
It's still Batman we talk about. Like
Joe Chill, man, that dude, man, make me sick. He might just start talking about some stupid stuff. Like he might start hating turtlenecks because of Joe Chill,
Right.
Anyway,
that's a thick ass turtleneck he got on.
It must be cold. It's got to be cold because that's one that you wear when it's like 30 degrees, like it was this morning here in Georgia. But
Gotham is in New York, right?
Right. Gotham is. When it get cold in Gotham, you just call it a wrap.
Okay, so we see Joe Chill. There's a wall of brick coming down. Joe Chill think he gonna die. Batman saves him yet again.
And how many times can you really save the guy?
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
How many times can you really save the guy that killed your parents? Like that's. I'm just saying. Like
I just think at this point it's just in Batman's nature to do it. It's like an instinct, like it's second nature. Like if Bruce Wayne was walking down the street with Selena Kyle in regular like attire, and a little girl was out in the street and was about to get hit by a car, I don't think without question he wouldn't try to save her. That's just him.
that's true.
That's encoded in him now. So he's just he'll be the first person to jump out there, and he might do like a one-handed cartwheel. Like, hold up, Bruce Wayne do cartwils and stuff. Like, oh
Right,
God.
like this instinct doesn't even think about it, give stuff away.
He'll be in that Playboy. I mean,
Yeah.
he got plenty of time playing all the gymnasts that he be with.
Yeah.
All right. So Joe Chill is appreciative. He says thank you, and Batman looks at him for a second and then says you're welcome. I can imagine this whole dialogue between them. I mean, from the time he saved them in the movie theater up until now, it had to actually like resonate with both of them, like
It's got to.
like on a deep level, because it's like, wow, man,
Because it's powerful.
yeah. I mean, the man has saved him 2 or 3 times already. He's apologized to Bruce. He knows who he is. And he's like, to me, I think this is just therapy for both of them, you know? So with that touching moment, here comes the Joker laughing. And this dude is like, I hope to extend this game a little more, but now we all go together. So he's about, yeah, I just noticed that little price tag that says pool. This dude is sick, man. So he's all beat up. He's got that little glossy, like I-beam eye. I don't know what you call that eye. And then he says, God,
It's
it
a
hurts
Terminator eye.
Yeah, the Terminator eye. So it says, God, it hurts to laugh. This dude is bleeding like it's nobody's business from everywhere. Next panel, blam. Batman's like, what that WTF look? Then here comes the Joker says, and then there was one. This comedian.
Batman look like Val Kilmer right there.
Huh.
I mean, he's got to at some point, right? I mean, he's like Michael Keaton for most of this. So
I was gonna say they done went through a lot of them.
They done went through a lot of them, so it had to get to him eventually.
So the comedian is the last Joker standing. And then after he shot him, here come a fake boom flag. And it's crazy because both Jokers got shot in the head. But anyway, Joker throws the gun down. Take me in, Batsy. I want to get off this crazy ride. And starts laughing maniacally.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all got any thoughts on this panel right now?
I mean, it's kind of just like what Alfred said. Some men just want to watch the world burn.
So, like,
I mean,
it's still tying into the very end of the book. What I want to say.
Yeah, it's all heading that way.
Okay, so we're gonna reserve that for you because we're close to the end anyway. So we're going to the next panel. All right. So finally, after I don't know how long, Gotham City's finest shows up.
Man, whatever.
We don't know how long this took. Maybe that whole encounter in the movie day was 5 minutes. Maybe it was 35 minutes. We don't know. But needless to say, they're finally there. They're putting out the fires. The police is there doing whatever they're supposed to do. And he says, so that's it. He takes the last Joker back to Arkham and sends me home. Get the Batmobile back to the cave. Give him a chance, Jason. Give yourself one too. And here comes Jason. Simp mode. What about a chance with us? Jason, I think we're interpreting what happened with us differently. No, you
no kid.
No, he ain't. And then look at her face. I'm sorry. So like she's disgusted. It's not like she looks like she's even disgusting this with him. So Jason says, right, sorry. I'm sorry. I'll see you later. Batgirl, you okay? I'm fine, Commissioner. I just know facing the Joker can't be easy for you. I've kept my mouth shut about it, but I have to say something. You have my support as much as Batman does, but Red Hood, he isn't someone you should be involved with. What I do with him isn't your business, Dad.
Dad.
And then she rides off. She probably said that up on her voice real silent. But she couldn't do that at Blackgate when she was talking to Bruce.
Right.
Bruce.
Okay. Next panel. Bruce is in the paddy wagon with the Joker. Batman looks at him. He looks at Joe. He thinks about Joe Chill. And then pans back to Batman. And Joker's like, see? Now, after all that drama, don't you feel better, Bruce? Bruh.
Sure, why not?
Bruce is looking at him. Bruce Wayne, Barbara Gordon, Jason Todd. You know I know, but I don't care. I won't tell. The world can never know your true name. You might stop doing this if I do. What do you want? What do I want? Certainly not what the others did. The clown troubled Robin with the clown. Your troubled Robin put a bullet in. While all he wanted to do was laugh at the suffering of others. How common. And the criminal, that old man was so delusional. This whole big idea of creating a better Joker, well, that was lunacy. Now, wasn't it? A defined Joker? One with a name and identity? Why? That ruins the very definition of me. That's why I regret making him. Or does he regret making me? And then he starts laughing. What's the
one big joke?
So what, Chris?
So just one big joke.
Right.
So one big game.
So Batman says, what's the punchline here, Joker? Oh, this isn't a joke, Batman. There's no final twist. Not until I decide to put my hand on the knife in your heart. The criminal was wrong. I am chaos. I am the devil. I am nothing to you and everything. It isn't the Joker that is broken. It was the Batman. Broken by a pain greater than anything I could ever do to you. So I convinced him that Joe Chill would be the perfect brand spanking new clown prince of crime. The man who sent Gotham to hell. He bought it. And I let it all play out just like I knew it would. You saved the man who killed Thomas and Martha Wayne, who sent Gotham and you spiraling into the drain of despair. You saw the old, regretful, sad sack Chills become. You felt his pain and it gave relief to yours. Ha! I healed your greatest wound. So now I can be your greatest pain. Me. Crazy. I'll cut you. I'll hurt you. I'll keep twisting that knife until the day we both die together.
See, that's that crazy. That's that.
That's what I was talking about earlier, man. This dude is insane. Come on, man. Like, who is worth that kind of time, man? Like, honestly, I don't know. I'm
when
thinking
you in love.
that ain't love right there.
I mean,
and if it is,
you think about it though. When you look at, let's just say, Interview with a Vampire, right? Louis had a lot of love and respect for Lestat for being his creator. And then when Louis I forgot her name, but Kirsten Dunst's character, she was in love with him as a father figure / lover, whatever you want to call it. But Batman was the Joker's maker.
Yeah.
He wouldn't be who he is if it wasn't for Batman and that night. You know what I'm saying? So that's his main focal point. Like, he wouldn't be what he is at all without that one moment.
Yeah, I get that. I just can't see that kind of infatuation over a person to that extent. to that
to that
degree.
degree.
I mean, that's crazy. I mean, that's the way he's written. That's the way he's, for the most part, always been. And I mean, so yeah. But we're gonna go to the next panel and fast forward to I'm assuming the hospital, maybe Blackgate. Don't know. Joe Chill is taking a turn for the worse. Bruce Wayne is at his bedside. He's looking at the letters. He looks down at Joe Chill. Joe Chill reaches out for his hand. He holds his hand. Joe Chill dies. Batman then is shown at a tombstone. Joseph Chill. And then it actually pans towards the tombstone. And then
Imagine the peace. Imagine the peace that Joe Chill felt before he passed, knowing
Oh man,
that his greatest crime and greatest sin was forgiven by Bruce Wayne, who sat there with him to the end. You know, all he wanted was a redemption, and he got it. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I see your question, Cookie. We're going to explore that in just a second, but we're going to go ahead and skip to Alaska in the frozen tundra and Range Rover S-type vehicle, Jeep, Jason Todd. Did I skip something? Okay, so it says here, the world can never know your true name. So apparently that's harking back to the words that the Joker spoke to Bruce Wayne. So Jason Todd is thinking, it's over for now, Bruce. And then you see the Joker, Killing Joke Joker says Bruce, and then there's Alfred.
Now he was looking at a picture of the Killing Joke, and Alfred says Bruce.
Yeah, that's what I meant. It just came out wrong. I'm sorry. But Alfred says Bruce. And then Bruce says even if Jason had killed them all, it'll never be over for Barbara or him, Alfred. So we go back to where we started from in book 1. Barbara Gordon on treadmill. That shows the treadmill that she tore up in issue 1.
Still out of order.
Still out of order. They got to order parts from Hong Kong, man.
Hey man, Wayne Industry could have supplied them with a new treadmill. Man.
Mm-hmm.
That man is fighting the Joker, man. He ain't got time to fix no treadmill, man. That's just a drop in the bucket for all his concerns right now. So, okay, so we see that Barbara's on the treadmill. She's getting it. Dear Barbara, I want to make a change, but I can't do that without you. I know I've come across cold and distant, but I know you know why. I've always admired you, Barbara, your strength, your determination. You think what happiness was a mistake. You think what happiness was a mistake, that it was a moment. But I think we could be great together. I really do. I'll give up being Red Hood for us. I can be something else. Or I can be just Jason. All I need is one chance to prove to you I can be better. And I will devote my life to making you proud, happy, loved. If you don't think I'm worth one chance, if it was all just you caught up in everything, then throw this letter away. I'll never mention it. I'll even understand. Whatever happens, I love you. Yours, Jason. And as this is being played out, we see what happens. Jason went to the dollar store and bought some tape.
The worst tape ever.
The worst tape of all time.
Man, like, really?
All the Wayne money in the world, and you bought this tape.
Thinking that. no 3M. No, you could put on a sticker. A sticky note would have been better than this.
Or why not slide it under the damn door?
Yeah.
There was a million things he could have done other than just taping it to the door and walking away.
Hell, send a message on Messenger where you can see that they read it.
Right. Text it to her.
Something.
Needless to say, she didn't get this letter because a custodian which I've never seen a janitor at an apartment complex. But hey, it is
And
what it is.
and just to add on how much worse this tape, how bad this tape is, it didn't even stick to the floor.
Right. It's just horrible tape. Like, just
Right. Put the note under the door like a man.
Or say it to her face to face.
Well, maybe he was embarrassed to
he
do
had
that.
he had options.
This man beat death.
Jason Todd had options.
This is true. This is true. He did beat death a few times, but maybe he's just awkward with the ladies. We don't know, man. He could kill a joker with a snap, but can he ask somebody out on a date? You know,
Apparently not.
He
that
ain't even
opens up. Even go ahead. I'm sorry.
he ain't even asked her on a date. He's skipping this date phase. He just straight in the, I'm in love with you. I want to marry you.
Right.
But I think if this is actually, I think this was cool with the way this was done because it actually opens up another avenue for story arc for both Batgirl and Jason Todd in the future. If another writer was to want to try to adapt this into canon, But needless to say, she didn't get that letter when she got home. So I'm skipping to the next panel.
Out there breaking treadmills and hearts, boy, I tell you.
She's cold-hearted snake, like Paul Abdul used to say. But okay, so we go to a Jeep outside of a cabin. Apparently, that might be Jason that got to his destination, and it says all this hate coming from someone you don't even know. I wonder if we'll ever figure out who he really is. Now, this is what really got me. This is the comedian that they're talking about.
Hey, Al, one quick correction.
Sure.
That was Bruce driving, not Jason.
Right here?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right, because it go back to the following panel. You're absolutely right. Thank you for that correction, sir.
No worries.
Okay, so Bruce is looking like he is disgusted. And he is actually harking back to a thought or a memory. And lady says, Jesus, all I said was, and then he says, oh, you said, oh, as in, oh, so you didn't get a job? As in, oh, so how are you going to feed the baby? You think I'm not worried about that? And Bruce says, not to sound like people think I do, Alfred, but I'm Batman. Okay, all right, you're Batman. I knew the Joker's name 1 week after we first met. Alfred said, what? He'll never let me leave him. And my child, I can't bear to think what he'll do to the baby. It's okay, lady. The boys pulled together some money. We'll help you however we can. Next panel. Listen, what's the problem? The problem here, sir, I'm sorry, but your wife had an accident this morning, apparently testing a baby bottle heater. There was an electrical short, and well, she died.
And well, like
she
that
died,
is.
Sir, I'm sorry. like
That
is the worst delivery of that news ever.
So things happened, and yeah, sorry.
So you know how you had that wife, right?
Well,
go ahead and scratch that off your list.
Yeah.
Good thing is, whatever money you make is yours.
Crazy, man. It's like, well, she died, sir. I'm sorry. Good grief. No one can ever know his name, Alfred. And then she says, thank you. Because if the world knows it, his family will never be left alone. The press will find them. The Joker will find them. So, yes, I know his name. And that takes us to the conclusion of Batman, the Three Jokers. Okay, so let's put up Cookie, just a little podcaster's question. So y'all, I'm gonna leave this to y'all because y'all have read more Batman than I have. So just a little podcast asks, has it ever been explained in canon why the Joker loves Batman the way he does?
Not word for word, but more so just implying that he's always and will always be his greatest foe, his villain, his
Right.
lover, so to speak. Like it's nothing set in stone. It's just reading it over so long. That's always what they implied. You know what I'm saying?
It's just kind of always been there. They've never really. I think the closest would probably be the second Death in the Family story arc when he's all you guys are making when he goes through and explains how he feels like Batgirl and all of them are making Batman weak
Right.
and he's trying
And
to
they
get
make
rid
him
of all
weak,
them.
soft. Yep.
Right, like that's probably like the closest they've come to ever really giving us a reason for why he likes, you know what I'm saying, for why he's in love with Batman. Like that's the only thing that I could think of. Mhm.
That it's just it's like Batman. You could be so much better if it weren't for these idiots that are messing you up. And I want
Right.
you to be the greatest. I see you as the greatest. So I mean, that's literally the closest thing that they put to it. And if you notice, he reiterated that in the paddy wagon on the way to being locked up.
Mhm.
It's always been about just him and wanting to be his main focal point. Damn all the other ones, I can care less about them. I only focus on you.
Pretty much.
Okay. So I got a question for you guys that confused the hell out of me. Justice League, Dark Side Wars. Y'all know where I'm going with this. Batman sat in the Mobius chair. Batman asked how many Jokers there were. Said it was 3. Okay. So first part of the first book, it gave the impression that Batman didn't know who the Joker was. Was that intentional just so he wouldn't let Batgirl and Red Hood know? Or did everything that happened in the Mobius chair? Because to me, if he knew who the Joker was, why would he ask his identity in the Mobius chair?
Right. I okay, so that has been part of my issue since I got done reading book 3. Forever ago, Batman sits down in the Mobius chair and asks the Mobius chair, "Who is the Joker?" And then Batman is shocked with the answer that he gets, and then he discovers that there also has been 3 Jokers. And then flash forward to now, and we get to the end of book 3, and through all of this, Bruce is just like, "I've known who the Joker is this entire time.
Since day one.
Right.
Since day one, I've known who he is, and I've held his secret to make sure that his family stays safe." And it's like, fuck you, Bruce.
Right. 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 Yeah.
Because literally, because think, and I say that because of this. Up to this point, everybody always says, because you don't kill him, everything he does is your fault, Bruce. You don't stop him, and so every death that happens after you don't stop him is on your head.
Right.
But this now literally means that everything he's done has been Batman's fault. Like Batman could have easily put an end to a lot of this. You've known who he is this entire time, and you've kept his family safe, but they're at the cost of everyone else's family. You've protected his wife and child when
Right.
he has killed hundreds, maybe thousands of wives and kids since his iteration as the Joker. And you've just let him do all this in order to keep his wife and kids safe. You've also known who he was. Even if you were trying to keep them safe, you can't convince me that Bruce Wayne couldn't have found a way to keep them two safe and still tell the world who the Joker was.
It's funny because like you could have easily handled the Joker without them knowing who he was. They had plenty of times to test his blood, which claim, uh, clearly the chemicals
Have
like
altered.
have altered all of his DNA. So you could have easily done away with him. Now, one thing, and Al knows how I feel about this because we talked about it, but I think it was more so for clarity. You know what I mean? Like if he knew who the Joker was since after 1 week, asking the Morbius chair was like, I want to make sure I'm right on this, and then they kind of when he found out it was three of them, it just threw him off,
No,
you know.
man. No, man. Batman ain't never asked nobody just to make sure he right.
What's up, Kurt?
You know,
Batman, if Batman thinks he's right, Batman thinks he's right. He don't ask nobody if they think he right. That's not
right?
how
But
Batman operates. Nothing about Batman.
True, but we wouldn't have got to this conclusion that we are at right now if he didn't.
We would have got here, but what good did that conclusion do us? Batman sat in the Mobius chair and goes, "Who's the Joker?" I mean, I already know who it is, but I want to prove I'm smarter than the God chair. Come on, man. Whatever.
I mean,
What conclusion did we get to?
And see, my thing is the reason why I posed that question. And yeah, we talked about it before because, X, I was confused. Shit. Aside, I thought the story as a whole was a great story, but that one thing, had I not known what happened back in the Dark Side War, I'd be like, okay, cool, no big deal. Had he not asked that question to the Mobius chair, from what I understand, is the source of all knowledge in the universe,
the multiverse
that Metron has imbued in that chair. I'm like, is it just bad writing? Because didn't Jeff Johns, didn't he write Dark Side War 2?
I think he did, but I'm not sure.
I thought he did.
So if he wrote Dark Side War and he wrote the Three Jokers,
it's hard.
Go ahead.
It's hard to believe that if he wrote both of them, that he didn't.
Yeah, because that's a huge plot hole. Because it's like what's the point of either getting into the whole issue with Batman knowing the the Joker's name if you already knew the Joker's name. Like you said, Chris, it's like, okay, well, I'm smarter. I can't do Kevin Conroy. I'm smarter than the Mobius chair. Like, come on, dude. You are smart. You ain't that smart, man. Come on now.
You smarter than the God chair? Really, Batman? Okay.
I mean, that was my biggest takeaway in terms of negative towards the story. But I mean, overall, man, I thoroughly enjoyed it. And I think that it was a deep dive into redemption of Joe Chill and a closure, hopefully, for Batman. You know, whether or not this actually translate over into the main DC universe is up to question, because, you know, with everything they got going on now, you know, they're about to put the DC universe on hold for a couple of months, especially after this Dark Knight Metal is over with. So,
but can we question the chair now?
No. I don't question the chair. I don't question the chair because the chair is like, think of the chair as the library file system. Like it's got all the information is put in there by other people. It is all filed away. The chair, I mean, because think about it. In the comic books now, Metron don't even sit on the chair anymore. Wally West is sitting on the chair. The chair holds all the information. But it didn't have the information to know that it was two other created Jokers? It knew there were three Jokers. It told Batman. But again,
no, I'm saying it didn't know that the other two were created.
Batman didn't ask the chair that, did he?
He didn't.
He didn't ask that.
The chair can't give you answers you don't ask it for. He asked, "Who is the Joker?" And the chair said, the chair probably gave him three names, which is how he's like, there are three Jokers? He didn't ask the Joker. He didn't ask the chair, who is the original Joker? Which one of them is the... But again, though, based off the end of this book, if the chair gave him three names, he already knew which one was the original Joker. Based off the end of this book series. Because he knew who the Joker was.
I mean, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. It's just, if this is an all-knowing chair, it knew who the original Joker was. Because he asked who is the Joker.
Right, and that's what the chair told him.
And he said three. So, like, when you say that the chair gave three names, but also knew which one was the original Joker, then the answer is the original Joker.
We don't know how many answers it gave. It just he asked the chair who is the Joker, and the chair, and he gets an answer. We don't, you know what I'm saying? We found out later that there's three of them, but at the time, in the story of the Dark Side War, when he sat on the chair, he just asked it who was the Joker, and then we see Batman with this shocked look on his face when he gets his answer, and that's all we got. until later on when it was like, turns out there's 3 of them.
I like that answer down there. He said, you already know.
It should have.
exactly.
It should have.
See what I'm saying?
This is akin to that whole situation when when Rey Mysterio got through like a dart by Kevin Nash in WCW, and then Eddie Guerrero asked him, talking about how many of them was it. That was 4, man. That was 4. Like, Batman should just ask Rey Mysterio or Eddie Guerrero, man. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
I don't know, man. I just like Kirk said, comments on the mindset. The chair should have already said, you already know, bro. If you know this much, why are you even sitting in me, man? Wipe me down when you get out.
All right. Don't waste my time with this shit.
You what? What, Bruce? You want me to tell everybody your name, Bruce?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that was like my only negative takeaway from the story in itself. But other than that, man, I thoroughly enjoyed it, man. I probably read the story, each book at least twice.
I
actually
enjoyed
read
it
3 times. Go ahead, Chris.
I enjoyed it too, but I'm right there with you. Like I feel like we got let down right at the end. Like we read through this story. The first 2 books were really, really great, really, really impactful, and then we get to this 3rd one, and then it's like, oh yeah, well, I already knew who the Joker was, and so it's kind of like that's one of the things that you read the story for, because when you read all the stuff talking about the 3 Joker story, it was like the identity of the Joker is finally going to be revealed, and then it wasn't. It was just revealed that Batman's always known who the Joker was, which leads us to the questions like we're talking about, where we're sitting here just like, well, if he already knew, why did he ask the Mobius chair? So then it's like, well, Jeff Johns, did you forget that you had Batman ask the Mobius chair, Jeff? Because like I really want to hop on Twitter now.
It has happened.
I really feel like hopping on Twitter and messaging Jeff Johns and be like, hey man, what happened? Like,
hey, do that. Do it.
If you get banned from Twitter.
No,
right. Jeff Johns,
he's gonna get blocked from Jeff Johns. Yeah.
No, don't go on Twitter and say, "Hey, Jeff Johns, you bitch ass fool! Why did you write this story?"
No, I won't. That would be rough. I ain't gonna do that. But yeah, like that. It's definitely one of the things I want to answer. Is like you let us in with this, that we were gonna get the identity of the Joker, and then you didn't give us the identity of the Joker. And you left us with more questions that I can only assume that the sequel to the 3 Jokers will maybe answer, because it makes no sense.
But we did get the answer.
We don't know who the Joker is.
The Killing Joke.
We don't know his identity. That's not. No.
Man, I want to know if this dude eat spam. I want to know if he.
How does he like his eggs?
Yeah, right.
What's his Waffle House order?
Does he like spicy ketchup? I want to know that kind of shit.
How does he take his tacos?
Does he like cilantro?
Right, like the singer and the spice. Like,
shut up.
I didn't even know it was a singer named cilantro.
There's a Mexican singer named cilantro. Yeah,
cilantro is delicious, bro. Okay, so X, man, go ahead. I'm gonna come back to you, Chris. I've already said what I had to say. I enjoyed it. I just think that one little bit, that plot hole itself, was just confusing to me. But overall, I really enjoyed the story. I did. And I that's a story that I will revisit, because sometimes you get comics and you read it once and be like, yeah, it's one and done. Major X, I'm talking to you. But then there are other comics. This is a comic that I'll go back and read. I ain't gonna say it's on par with one of my favorites, God Loves, Man Kills, but I can see myself going back reading the 3 Jokers,
right? Because
it was a engrossing telling story. I learned a lot about Jason Todd. I learned a lot about Barbara Gordon. Don't like her. The whole Joe Chill thing. I bet he is vegan. I don't know who vegan, but I know I'm not.
I'm not.
But I enjoyed it. Let's see what Kirk said. Maybe he did it purposely, because this isn't the end, I heard. Yeah, because Chris mentioned earlier that they're going to actually do a sequel to the 3 Jokers. Says heard they may be doing another continuation. You actually heard correct, Kirk. They are doing it according to Chris. So thank you for letting us know that. Hey man, we're gonna have to talk, Kirk. We're gonna have to get you on the show, and we're gonna have to talk about Major X. We're gonna have to make that happen. I know you on the West Coast, but yeah, we're gonna talk about that another day. But yeah, man, that's
Oh,
just me in a nutshell. Go ahead, X.
real quick. So the things I told y'all to make a note of,
Yeah.
You forgot.
I
Well, we
didn't.
started. Yeah, we hadn't even
I
got
didn't
there yet.
forget.
Okay.
So in that panel that I told, the first one with the eye,
Mm-hmm.
tell me y'all didn't think about the killing joke when y'all saw that one frame.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
did.
Like
yeah, definitely.
like when you look at that, and then later on they showed the second frame that I showed you all, who I told y'all to make a note of, when they showed the comedian with the camera. Like, he didn't have a hat on, but to me that's what started leading everything to he's gonna end up being the main one. You know what I'm saying? It's just small little things, because if you look at all the other books, they have small little things leading up to it. Like,
True.
Hmm.
um it never dawned on me that the criminal was gonna be the main one, because why would you sit here and have this old brittle ass Joe Chill as the new Joker? Like, it's not gonna make him young again. It's just, all it's gonna do is just turn this brittle old body into another
Right.
Joker.
It's not like it's a Lazarus pit.
Right,
Yeah.
right. And if you look at it, he is really the only one that's been consistent when you look at all of the volumes of Batman. You know what I'm saying? The other ones had purpose behind what they were doing. You know, he was the
I
only
will
one
give
that
you
was
that.
like,
Yeah.
he was like, I just want to do this to get the Batman. So that's what kind of made me like, when I saw that. That was the first hint that I picked up, that kind of like made me feel that I was right at the end of the book. You know what I'm saying? Like, why when he said the Joker with a name and identity, and as soon as he finished that, he ended it with me. I was like, okay, I get it. I get it. Like, I still
I
think he
can
was
give
the
you
one
that.
that beat all of them.
I
Like, he
can give
took
you that.
pleasure in watching. He took pleasure in beating Jason Todd. It wasn't. It wasn't a whole. Oh well, he knows I got to do this. Blah blah blah. He was like, no, I'm having fun doing this shit, and I know it's gonna hurt Batman. You know what I'm saying? When he shot Barbara Gordon and paralyzed her, I just took away one of Batman's weapons, so they hurt Batman. So that's what kind of led me to believe
True.
that it was him. Because, like I said, it's just he was more consistent than everybody else.
Okay.
Small
Okay.
things, small things.
So
Yeah, I mean, but
your overall go ahead, Chris. Go ahead.
oh no, no. That's one of the things we've talked about throughout this entire series is that they definitely put in those Batman Easter eggs to give you the, you know what I'm saying, for you to see, for you to be like, they did this little thing and they did this little thing, you know, here and there, in order for you to be like, ah, okay, this is just like a little bit of something coming up, you know what I'm saying, for you to see, for you to enjoy, for those real diehard Batman fans, definitely.
Right. Some foreshadowing, yeah.
Yeah.
No, number one, man, that book was like chock full of
Yeah,
Easter
it
eggs.
was. Yeah, it was.
Man.
Like they
Oof.
kind of like towards the end of the book. All right,
Yeah.
Cookie. Hey man,
Hey,
appreciate you staying as long as you
thank you.
have, man. And for
Yeah.
those that are in the
Appreciate it.
chat, man, just a little podcast, cool cat named Cookie. He has a YouTube channel. Go sub him up. As does Comics on the Mind. I'm sub to both of them. So yeah, hit him up and show him some love with a subscription, please. But yeah, man, that first the I think that they did that on purpose, because after the first book, the Easter eggs started getting more sparse,
Yeah, it
because
was
I don't even
fewer and fewer.
recall many in,
Hmm.
in in issue 3 at all,
I think
So
they they used them all in the first one. It's just like, man, what else
Yeah.
we got left?
So I don't know what we can do. Holy crap, guys.
Right.
all right,
Holy out ideas, Batman.
so Chris, your take on the book, on the series.
um, my take on the series as a whole is that it was an amazingly good story. It is definitely a wild ride end. Um, if you have no if you have no real insight into the world of how Batman and the Joker function as a yin. It is definitely the book to read to give you that kind of insight. Um, if you are an old Batman head, you're going to fall into one or two camps, like me and X. You're either going to fall into where it was you figure it was good, or you're going to be like me and you're like it was good, but I feel like it could have been better because there's a lot of questions there at the end that because I know my brother never read Dark Side War, so he never knew that Batman knew the Joker's identity or any of that. So when I loaned him the books to read, he comes back to me the next day and he's like, "Man, why didn't you tell me?" And I was like, "What?" I was like, "What?" He was like, "What was the point?" He was like, "What I read all this for? Just for him to be like, I already know who the Joker is." And he's like, that was such a. He felt, here was somebody who hasn't read the Dark Side Wars, didn't know Batman already knew, and was reading this story to potentially find out who the Joker was. And he got to the end of the story and was just like, I felt let down. Like he was like, we going to get ice cream, yay! And then you pull into the Kroger parking lot and you just get vanilla. Like he felt let down. I thought we was going to Brewster's or Baskin Robbins.
You get that cost cut of ice cream too,
right? Like, oh, we got that Sam's Choice ice cream. Yay!
50 cents for a gallon.
Wow.
2 days later, it's what freezer burn.
Either freezer burn or it's ice milk. It won't stay frozen. So.
Right, it's covered in icicles. So he was really disappointed by the story, and so I can see a lot of people being like that. And so they're gonna have to. I feel like the sequel is gonna have to pick up and do a way better job. They're gonna need one. I feel like the sequel is gonna definitely need to space out the Easter eggs. Like we spent that first. Remember, because we were like, man, we're gonna do all three, all at one time for the first 2 issues. And then we ended up spending 3 hours on just the first
first issue, yeah,
with just the Easter eggs. Right. I mean, the way the Batmobile looked like the '89 Batmobile, and then depending on the angle, it didn't. And then him changing the suit, and then him getting the flashlight bat symbol suit on, and then the smiley face shark and everything. They had all these great little moments, these Batman moments for fans that the third book didn't really have as much of.
What it was is it had it, but it kept showing the same ones that we had already picked up on.
Right.
Like if you look at it, Jim Lee's art showed up several times throughout the entire all 3 books, but since we noticed them all in the first book, it didn't have the same impact. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. And so I just feel like there was a slight disconnect. There was a little letdown, not getting what we really want. Like, at least for me, like I was really expecting I really thought we were actually going to get like the Joker's identity at the end. So I was really kind of surprised that we didn't. Definitely surprised that he already knew, and it was just like, I mean, thanks for confirming. We all suspect that Batman already knows, just like we all suspect that the Joker knows who Batman is. But at the same time, getting smacked in the face with this knowledge without any, the way that it happened, fall a little flat to me. Like, but that's just me though. Like, I just feel like it should have been a little bit more together as far as that is concerned when it comes to that kind of thing.
Like, well, I was listening to you, but I was also thinking back on one thing in particular. One thing that I'm pretty sure all of us can agree on is that the DC animated world is top notch. It's amazing.
Oh yeah.
If you notice, they kind of foreshadowed back then by giving us the Killing Joke, because they haven't even hinted at following it up on any other Joker story except for that one.
That is very true.
And that came out around the time of the Chair. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's. I think so. I think what adds on to the letdown for you, like I was let down at first, and I started doing more thinking on it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I had a little more appreciation for it. But I think what really killed it for a lot of people, especially longtime Batman and Joker fans, was the weight that we had to endure to get to it. Because for the lead up to it, the build up, we were so anxious to get it, and then to come out and be like, well, hell, I kind of had that speculation anyway. So I definitely see where you're coming from with it.
Right. So
I love the book. I didn't like book 2 as much as the other two. Book 2 was kind of a drag out to me, but I enjoyed it. But
right,
this
still enjoyed it just the same.
right, but this one I really liked it. I did have more questions, but I sat down like I can't remember everything that I told Al when we talked about it because I talked about a lot of stuff in a short ride that we had from where we live to this store that we went to. But it's
Yeah.
some good stuff if you sit back and think about all the other things that were done in the past that kind of lead up to it, and you can kind of piece other little things together. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Now I don't know if they can do this with any other character though, any other villain.
I don't think they can
Yeah.
unless it's somebody in the Batman Rogues Gallery that has some kind of mental deficiency similar to the Joker, because I couldn't see Reverse Flash having this kind of a story or Black Adam. You know, I mean, I could see them having stories, but not to the effect of this one.
Depends on the Reverse Flash, because there's actually two. There's Reverse Flash and Professor Zoom.
Right.
Professor Zoom is somebody who just kind of hates Barry Allen, whereas the Eobard, as the Reverse Flash, is actually obsessed with Barry Allen. He was obsessed with him to the point where he recreated the experiment that gave him super speed, but then he was still obsessed with Barry Allen, and so it goes back into in order to create Barry, he basically he kills Barry's mom in order for Barry to become a forensic scientist, which led him to actually be there for the he hates. I would say he's on that same level as the Joker, as far as his love hate for Barry Allen is right there with the Joker's love hate for Batman. It's right there on that same level.
I agree with that. Only difference is with that, it's already known that it was two separate versions of the same character.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like we definitely could get a story like that. But I don't think it'll have the same weight as this one. You know what I mean?
Right.
Now, I think the closest, it's gonna sound far fetched, but I think the closest villain that you could technically do this with would be Brainiac, because he's a AI. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't necessarily have
Emotions.
right. And if something happens, it's just an upgrade or evolution. But now that I'm thinking about that, it wouldn't have no
Right.
weight after that because it's explaining itself as it goes. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You gotta. Yeah. So it's there. There's some, but
Don't crash, Kurt.
don't crash.
crash.
Don't crash.
We need you to be safe out there while biking.
Don't you wish that on me, Ricky Bobby?
Don't you put that evil on me. Yeah, so it would just be a matter, but I think they could do it if the right writer sat down and actually put the map, you know what I'm saying, put the pen to paper and came up with it. It could be done though.
Okay. So, as Matt likes to say, on a Comic Hall roundtable discussion, rating from 1 to 10, how would you X-rate the book?
I would give it a solid 9, just because to me, like the questions that I had at the end of book 3 and the drag out of book 2 to me took a full point away. But I give it a solid 9 out of 10.
Okay, Chris.
Story as a whole, all 3 books, yeah, definitely 9 out of 10. Like, definitely all 3 books combined, easily.
Well, I'm gonna get 8.25. And the only reason why I'm giving it the 8.25 is my
Batgirl.
Well, no, not even Batgirl. Just that whole issue with this the congruency of the story, man. Like I said, that it had. If I was like Chris's brother and I didn't know anything about what happened in Dark Side War, I would give it a 9.5 easy, because it's easily one of the best stories in recent history that I've read as far as the miniseries. But because of that one thing, man, with that whole I'm Batman, I already knew this shit. I'm like,
Right.
No, that to me now if they come back and they clear that up in the next series of books that they come out with, then I go up to a 9. But that right there, man, kind of like it threw me off, man. I was confused about that. We talked X, we talked about it. I
Yeah,
was
yeah.
confused. I'm like, hold up, man.
Yeah, I
I
already
know
knew.
I got sense, and I do have a college education to an extent. Like I ain't dumb. Like but I mean, as far as it goes, it was a solid story. And I'm with you, X. I actually like the first and third book a lot better. I think it had a little bit more drama. It had a little bit more meat and potatoes per se
Right.
than the second book. The second book kind of like it was kind of giving you information in reference to what to expect from the third book, and then it had a little, some Easter eggs and stuff. But yeah, that first and third book I think were the strongest of the two books. But I say I get an 8.5 for right now.
Book 2 was like watching Frieza and Gohan fight against that little speed rabbit thing and Super, that filler episode.
What
Like
are the
you got some enjoyment out of it. You enjoyed it, but it was
But
like
you
this
want
ain't
something
like
more.
this ain't watching Ultra Instinct Goku and Jiren go at it. You know what I
Right.
mean?
remember that Joker name? He was on the Pride Troopers. Oh,
I forgot his name. I
Topo.
know it's
No, it
no,
wasn't Topo.
that was the one that became a destructor.
Yeah, the one with the big mustache.
It's
Huge
a
mustache.
vegetable. That's all I know. As
Yeah,
in every other Dragon Ball character named after a
Right.
vegetable.
yeah, Rabbit Man. I give it an 8.5, man.
I,
It's a
I
great read.
Oh
they
yeah.
if they go through with the follow up, it doesn't need to just be a 3-book story. I think they need to shell it out over more issues.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like you can easily make this a 12-book issue. I mean, a 12-book series. So you know that'll it'll cut
Give him
down
enough
on
time.
right, and it'll cut down on like how we were so amped up after book 1 with everything, and then going to book 2 that decline, and then building the way back up and just kind of teetering off. You can at least when you have 12 issues, you can have that balance. You know what I'm saying? That'll end up making it a great series.
Mm-hmm.
But they ain't listening to us. We just 3 fans.
Right.
Yeah, right. And by the way, the rabbit is named Dispo. I had to look it up because it was getting on my nerves, but that was the rabbit in the Tournament of Power. But anyway, folks, this concludes our confab of the Batman and Three Jokers. I have enjoyed discussing this book with my fellow brothers in comics, Xavier and Chris. Hopefully, we can keep it going with some other books. We just have to, and we may do some older books as well if we could get on one accord. And we may have already read some that we could discuss. But yeah, we appreciate everyone in the chat that's still here. Anyone that was in the chat at some point and had to go. This is actually, to be honest with you, it's the shortest of the 3
Yeah.
videos, and this was a
Yeah.
live video. So yeah,
Right.
it was cool to do that and have live interaction. So any parting words from either of you guys before we head on to the home front?
Oh,
Hit
Go
that
ahead.
like and subscribe button. We just crossed the 400 mark. Keep it going.
Keep supporting us. Yeah, I mean, we enjoy, as y'all can see, we really enjoy doing what we're doing. It's rare that you find several like and unlike minded individuals that come together with books and actually enjoy going over the books and can have those banters back and forth and still be brothers at the end. Y'all keep supporting us. We here for y'all. Like, share, subscribe. Hey, tell a friend, your mom, your sister, cousin, uncle, all that good stuff.
Everybody.
And we appreciate you all.
Kirk, appreciate it, man. But I'm telling you, my knowledge of Batman is finite compared to these 2 dudes. You would think that they actually went to Western Sizzler and ate down with Bruce Wayne and ate a steak and drunk some beer with him. I just like to talk about. I like to read comic books and I like to talk about them. And Again, Comics on the Mind is on YouTube. He's a great brother. I sent him some books a few months ago, and I was glad to do that. Cool Cat he's on Instagram as well. Go check him out, like, share, and subscribe his content as well. He's a brother on the West Coast. From the no, he ain't from the LBC. I was about to say on a mission trying to find Mr. Warren G, but he ain't nowhere near that. But anyway, but yeah, just like, share, and subscribe. We got some more stuff coming. We appreciate it. We are at 400 subscribers, 408, I think. We're gonna actually work and do some giveaways like we did when we had 300 subscribers. So that's coming. And some other stuff that we're working on too. That we can hopefully get off the ground soon. But I think that's going to do it for us, fellas. We have the rest of our afternoon and evening to ourselves, which is cool. But if there's nothing else to be said, on behalf of Chris, aka Sith 2814, on behalf of Xavier, aka Hydro XR12, both are on Instagram. So check them out. My name is Al Rainey, aka Dusty Brick Brown, and we appreciate y'all showing up. Y'all have a good evening, and we may have a stream this Saturday. If so, we'll post it up on our IG page, but be on the lookout for it. Oh yeah, if you haven't seen our stream from this past Saturday, Matt Odom went off.
I was at work and I couldn't be on.
Bro, I was hoping
man,
that you
missed
up,
it.
Man.
I was listening to it, but I working security, man. I was like, golly, man, y'all go take y'all don't want to wear masks behind home. Go buy a case of beer and be happy. Oh, one thing I want to say though, on Instagram, if it's other books that y'all want to try to, if y'all want us to try to come together and do the confab on, let us know. You know what I'm saying? In the comment, we all see the comments. You know, we might not be able to respond to them because we have the Comment Hall Roundtable discussion page and our own IG pages, but we all see them. Let us know. You know, if it's not the three of us, we have 1 million people. You know, if it's Marvel based, we got 90% of the Comment Hall that follows Marvel as well. So let us know. We can get together and keep this content coming.
Right. And we don't have a problem with collabing with anybody. Kurt, you talked about Major X. Yeah, we really got to talk about that because I bought Major X. So we gonna definitely have something set up to where you could come on the show whenever you have some free time on the confab, and we gonna chat about that, sir. So Curtis from Oakland. Yeah.
It's like we gonna talk about that. Don't worry about that.
The area. Yeah, but yeah, man. Check out our last show. Like Kirk said, the rant of the century. Matt has ran it before, but he's never ran it. I mean, it's
not like that.
That was built. That was about 2-3 years of build up because we've been doing the show for about 4 years. So he went off. But anyway, go check it out. Like, share, subscribe. Check out our affiliates. Check out Kirk. Check out Comics on the Mind. Just a little podcast. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So everyone, thank you for joining us. Thank you for whoever stuck with us when we first started. Y'all are troopers, and we appreciate it. Thank you for your viewership as always. And again, on behalf of Chris and X, my name is Al. Comic Hall and Roundtable discussion. We'll hopefully see y'all this Saturday. Y'all take it easy. Peace.